hi everyone. It's a good morning, good evening, and as well as good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Dr. Vivian Magnus. I think it's clearly written right there. I just want to find out how's everyone doing. I don't know if anyone can hear me. Please go ahead and just leave a comment right there. I'm going to sift through it right now. As our manner is, I'm always super excited to be here. Sometimes it gets super emotional for me, but then I try to put myself in check, right? But then I am so always excited. Like I said, every week we'll be making plans for you. We have decided that we'll be coming into your homes, helping you navigate. So if this is your first time here, kindly just say hi everyone. I'm a first timer right here. I would love to what just probably just tell me. Of course, you know our topic for the day. You could just kindly just share with me what are your expectations so far. So I'm gonna give another opportunity. Please, if you're right here on this live, go ahead and just say hello so that we can always start quickly. I'm just going to take a moment to go into the chats and see. Yes, I think I can see somebody right now. Oh, my excellent Exter. So good to see you. I'm always super excited to see you as well. Let me see how many persons are here. Please help share the event so that we can get as many people on board. Today, I didn't start with the introductory message, right? So maybe, I don't know how that will be. Oh, my goodness. So good to see you. So good. Oh, now I'm getting super excited already. So part of things we're gonna do that's gonna literally always be a part of our events right now is probably when you come in, just say where you're joining from so that let's get an idea of what globalization really is, right? Through the internet. So I'll say hi everyone. Oh my goodness. I love the way everybody's just commenting. Please, if you're here on this live, literally, it's not like the audio events where the only way for you to probably just people to know that you're there is only by clicking. Right now, everything has changed. So please help us. If you're already live on this event, comment. Okay. We've seen a lot of people lose money and leave money on the couldn't comment. And I'm going to make another announcement. I'll say again, if you are hiring, please go ahead and reach me in my DM. I'm always excited to have you on board. We're going to have as many people that will get the opportunity to be hired as well. For us, the Phoenix Gate, so we've opened our gates open wide, yes, for volunteers. So if you'd like to volunteer as well for the Phoenix Gate, so maybe we'll be the people kind of hiring first today, but then let me look into the conversations or into the chat to see how many persons have joined. So please, if you are here on this live, depending on where you're joining from, whether Facebook, whether LinkedIn, I mean, you just name it. I just want you to just leave your digital footprints. Let everybody be encouraged that you're around and excited to meet you as well. As my manner is, I'm always bubbled, like literally always to come out. I'm always super excited because since like I would always say, I wish when I started LinkedIn, I had an opportunity like this. So more like every single time that I have the opportunity to come out here, I get excited that, oh well, I'm going to make the journey Now, this is the right place to laugh. So please, I would want everybody to just laugh in the comment section. If you can see me, just leave an emoji of laughter. Like if you can hear me now, just leave an emoji of laughter. I just need to laugh. I want to take a while to laugh. Oh my goodness. Literally for how long? And I've been speaking. I want to say thank you, everyone. Again, I'll say it again. My name is Dr. Vivian Magnus. If you're meeting me for the first time, I'm the founder and the lead coach of the Phoenix Gates Group. And like I said, we have promised to literally always show up for you all. So I would say it every single time. I wish I had an opportunity to have come here. Like I wish I met me earlier. Even now, I'm still, of course, as I'm taking my courses as the year turns out, one of the opportunities or one of the prayers I'm literally praying right now is to meet somebody like me, literally, because the truth is, it's not really about just having people come on board. Okay, now I'm beginning to see the laughter. Please go ahead and laugh because this is kind of funny, right? But then thank you so much everyone for drawing my attention to that. And I've literally spoken for how many minutes? Oh my goodness, this is good. This is so good. So I would want to say thank you, everyone. I'm going to make an attempt to spotlighting everyone. Like I said, our studio was just upgraded. One of the things I noticed last week was that it was planned, so I didn't understand why. I don't want to probably talk bad about some applications, but some applications probably hide whatever grade of what did they call it? Let's say stream until you've paid, you realize that, oh, you probably didn't pay for the right one and you had to upgrade. So that was what happened to us last week. So today we had to do an upgrade and a lot of the features are still loading, even our intro video. So that's why probably when you guys all came in, you didn't see the intro video. But like we said, we're still here, right? And we've made our commitments and we're going to show up by 5, and that's what we're going to do. So, part of the things I'm going to say again, if you're meeting me for the first time, I am super excited to see you. Thank you so much for coming on board, right? There's nothing as beautiful as knowing that there are certain people who are literally going by everything we provide on this stage. And then one of the things we have to do now is that we made up our minds that, oh, this is beautiful. Since we're now even more accountable for people who come our way, part of the things what we decided to do was to run it as a curriculum. So you know that if you had joined us consistently in January, you should have figured out personal branding by now. Okay. So that was why we had to pay attention to as well what we were giving out. As of last week, we realized that it was super blurry despite joining a plan. So we had to upgrade as well because we know that we cannot do anything less than living what we preach, right? So we went through the personal branding. We started for this month. We did everything we're talking about is how to get remote job opportunities. And then part of the things we had to do today, if you can stay to the end, you're gonna expect to know where and how to get high ticket remote job opportunities because now we have scaled it a little bit up. We went from the regular LinkedIn, optimizing your LinkedIn, and then we went into Upwork a bit. Maybe we might have some time to talk about the platforms today. I don't know how much time. And then today is also an exciting day, right? It's also the onboarding for our boot campers. I just want to see excitement all across the room because I'm expecting that lots of persons who are currently on the live should already be excited because something mind blowing. I mean, some people's financial life will literally be changed in the next 3 weeks, and I don't know who is more excited than I am because I don't know. I can't put my ground around it. And then, like I said, every single person who have passed through our paths, I'm always super excited to be in their lives because somehow we just always keep in touch. Like I said, for me and the Phoenix Kids, we're more what's the word now? We're rounded or we pay attention more. That's the basic word to relationships. So how seeing people excel, seeing people do well is one of our top-notch ideations, excellence, and that's literally why we are here. So if you're meeting us for the first time, we've done this every Sunday for more than 6 months. Yes, we've done this every Sunday for more than 6 months. Yes, and somebody said, "Is it paid?" Well, you're here right now, so you know that you're not paying for it. But then, of course, our boot camps help us give you a more focused, and then of course we are now more accountable to you. We just want to ensure that we see you win. Literally gives us more charge over you or something. Then of course joining our communities would also give you an opportunity to always be probably reminded to show up, and then a few other things, right? And then a few other opportunities that might be happening in houses that might just arise at random. You might just be fortunate to find them out in the group. Usually when job opportunities also come up like that, part of the places I first share them is on the group. So anybody who probably is free at that point, who just probably just looks into the chats, will literally just get that job opportunity. And somebody said just like that. I said yes, just like that. And nobody is asking you for a dime, right? For that. Of course, said we would come up with membership plans so that we can be more directed. You don't think that maybe we are, when we say come out on Sundays to learn by 5 p.m. GMT plus one, you'll not be thinking that, oh, you're doing us a favor by showing up. Nope. That's why we still show up, because we know that there are certain sets of persons who probably this will be their first time coming on board, coming on LinkedIn, coming on Facebook, coming on Instagram, coming on YouTube, and they are just going to be meeting us. And then guess what? This is how literally their lives can change. So I'm going to give another opportunity. Of course, you know, as our manner is, this first few minutes of the event, we take our time to introduce everybody who is coming. So I am going to be looking into the chat right now, as I had conversed earlier. I had said everything I just said now at the beginning, and it's so shocking that a lot of people didn't hear me. But like I said, we move, okay? So thank you so much. I'm going to be looking in now. Okay, I already can see amazing persons. I think the first person who came out, who started probably conversing already was Esther. So I celebrate Esther. Thank you so much for coming in super early. I also saw Mr. Man. Okay, let me see this. Awesome. Just give me a moment. Let me look into it. So please just go ahead and release your chats. Just converse. Let me look at what is going on here. Just keep having your conversations, as well as please kindly just celebrate everybody who probably is their first time. I'm going to be looking at this again. Okay, someone, okay, this is probably the last 5 minutes. I just want to say thanks to everybody who was able to alert me on the fact that I was muted. I'm so grateful for that as well. So thank you. I'm going to be looking backstage and seeing if some of my speakers are already arrived. Okay, yes, I think they are. Please just give me a thumbs up if you're ready. I need to increase my volume as well. So please, if you can hear me and you're all live with me, I didn't make screen, sorry. If you can hear, just give me a thumbs up, right? If you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up. Let me be sure that you can hear me right now. Okay, so I'm going to be bringing our speakers on board. Whoever is ready, let me bring. I wanted to bring few minutes. We're going to be doing questions on. Okay, let me look. We're going to be discussing planning, because now we're, as we said, today we're essentially going to be discussing. Okay, awesome. I think you're here. Well, okay, that's beautiful. I actually wanted to for us to start from financial planning, but you, or I should just take on Mr. Akin. So probably you give me. Can you hear me? Like I'm talking to myself.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Okay, you can hear me, but it's strange.
I can hear Mrs. Heavens too.
Just for the time being, let me just.
Okay, I hear you too. We hear you. We hear you.
Okay. I'm going to just take a moment to look into. Let me crystal clear. Can everyone just
absolutely
just leave a chat? I want to be sure, because for some reason my chats are moving. Right, my chats are not moving. So I think Miss Heavens, please just take over, just see what I can do.
Okay, so I think that maybe it's her internet or her network. So she might have to reload.
Okay.
If you can hear, you might have to reload. I think the other guests can still hear me loud and clear.
Just go on with the
Mama,
session. If
Yeah.
I'm
Mama Olushota,
frozen, go on.
okay, so guys, yes, you are frozen, but I'm just going to mention because she mentioned that we're going to talk about financial planning. I'm Olaume Heavens. You already know, just in case you're coming in for the very first time. Um, the president of Phoenix Gates has already introduced a bit, some people that she can see on the platform. And we're going to be speaking about a few things on the platform today. I'm super excited. The mere fact that we're talking about not just financial planning, but also global opportunities. If you ask me, I'm one of the people that have really, really taken advantage of global opportunities. If they had told me years back that I'll be working remotely. I'm not sure we even really knew what remote was at that time. But over the years, having been an entrepreneur for decades, I realized that I love to learn and take advantage of the opportunities that are available to me. Last week I was on the platform trying to source for one or I think maybe three positions that I wanted to fill, and I got so many amazing offers right here on the platform. And believe me, from those offers, because I really felt like, oh my god, I can't just let go of some people. I had to start reaching out, even with their knowledge, or reaching out to people to say, you know what, I have people who can do this in the community. Yes, I see virtual assistants. So basically I was reaching out to others. And one of the things that I don't really advertise on LinkedIn, but I do, is that the company I run actually, sources top talents from Nigeria, on global platforms so that they can work remote, some can move if they want to move, and much more. And so behind the scene, I've been doing that, especially during the time of lockdown. And one thing I've also gotten within this community is the fact that it gives you access to what I would call maybe the 3% of the workforce. I mean, people that will say, okay, they can learn, people that will come and do the job. And that's what you get in this community. So don't play when you come to this community or come on the programs. I'm telling you for real from my experience. Thank you. I celebrate you too, Buki. I can see the president of Phoenix Gate right back. If you can hear me.
Perfect. Just
Oh, okay.
go ahead.
Okay,
I
cool.
want to
Uh,
sort out a few
okay,
things
no
here.
problem. So
Just go.
I
I
will
would
tell
even
you
leave the
that.
stage. Just go. I can hear you. But
No problem. So I will tell you
I
that
can
that is
just give me.
that's something that you can gain right here on LinkedIn, and those kind of things you don't play. But one of the, and I know that we're still going to she's going to probably ask me a question about finance or remote, whatever comes to her mind that she wants us to learn from. But I will tell you that being on this platform, no matter what country you're from, you need to realize that it's a global village. Life has been global for quite a while, and some people are just catching on, which is not bad. It's never too late for you to wake up. But now that you've woken up, part of why you are here, yes, to showcase who you are, to get in touch with other people around the world, to have those relationships that you want to curate. But at the same time, you have to think at the back of your mind, without being too pushy, is also monetizing. Meaning that when we see you maybe in the next 1 year, what have you been able to get? What have you, even if you've not gotten money per se, have you built something that will get you that money at the end of the day? Because when you're within a gold mine, it also means that there's something to get. So it doesn't make sense for you to sit in a gold mine and you're not getting anything. But one thing I will also mention, and I think this just came to mind because I was discussing with someone earlier today, that don't beat yourself like, oh, there are the people there, they have an inner circle. Those are the kind of things that don't make you go forward. Those are the kind of things that does not help you get the opportunity. The opportunity is actually lying there. Even if it looks like you're not at the forefront, you can be a very fantastic follower and then you're doing great. And I realized that, okay, are you saying there's no sound from me or you can't hear me? Someone said no sound. I hope my sound is still good. Okay, yes, it's a global village. So I don't know what aspect of the finance that Dr. Vivian wants to go to this evening, but one of the things I would say is honestly, I think I'm just going to go right into it while we're waiting for her. Um, I would tell you that this year, 2024, we're talking a lot about how we wanted to do more in 2025. But this is 2025 already. And then you might look at yourself and say, it's already February. We've gone far, and hey, I'm not doing anything. I've not achieved anything. Guys, I will tell you, there are short-term goals, there are long-term goals, there are mid-term goals. There are everything in between. So if you are doing anything within this sphere, even as we're going to talk about remote opportunities, because nobody's going to take a remote opportunity and they are not going to be paid. The idea is that you're being paid and you develop more till you get to a point where you can get that premium for what you can do. For some people, what you can do is just talk. Maybe you've not structured it, so you're thinking that I don't have anything doing. There's something you can be doing. It might even be that thing that people have been saying, oh, you talk too much, oh, you play too much. It might be that thing, that very thing that you've been endowed with to do something with. Even if you're already within a structure, a workplace. When I talk about monetization, people think it's one, yes, there are strategies to it, but the fact is there's always something about you or some opportunity around you that you can monetize. So if you're a virtual assistant, are you thinking of how can I do more? If you're a TV presenter, how can I do more? Are you going to stay there? If something happens to you in the next few years, something shifts, are you still going to make money? And I'm not sure if I gave the example one of those days that when I was pregnant, I had to step back from the show I had been on for about 5 years. I stepped back from Your Weekend. It was a live show, then became a recorded 1 hour. I loved doing that show. But I became so tired. Nobody knew I was pregnant at that time. I was so tired. I had to advise myself that, allow me, you need to sit back. So I had to make an excuse of, well, right now I have a lot on my plate. I can't do this. But imagine if I couldn't do that and I had nothing else. Within that time where I was tired, as I told you, one of those days I was working from home, doing courses, and then I was doing projects where I could work through partners. I made so much money in that time where I could not go anywhere that even me myself, I was like, yeah, this is what we're talking about. And so when we come on this platform and Dr. Vivian is hounding you about making more money and there's money everywhere, and when I keep saying stop leaving money on the table, it's not because there's a magic that people are doing. It's just that it is possible. But I will tell you today, there's no way you're going to talk about finances without talking about your mindset. If you feel like you can't make it, you just look at people and you assume, oh, their parents must have been very rich. Isn't all the rich are mighty? Is it not because they're in that position? Is it not because the boss is their friend? Not necessarily so. Some people might have that advantage, but you see, sometimes the disadvantage is actually your advantage. It makes you work twice as hard, 3 times as hard. So if you have a plan already, just as I said earlier on, you have a financial goal, you need to ask yourself, how do I get there? If you don't start with the way to get there, then you are playing. It can't just happen. So you're working in a place where your salary, for instance.
Awesome. So, Mom, are you going to give me a moment? No. Okay, awesome.
I can
That
hear
was
you loud.
like an amazing. Thank you so much for that. Still. Okay, so I want as many people to come on board so that we don't like probably have dished out everything, then they start coming at the end. Okay, so please, I would want us to help by sharing this event because I mean this is our lowest so far. I don't know why we're having this turnout. Thank God. Normally I don't even look through the events because I'm always like probably busy trying to do a few other things, and then of course engaging in the conversations most of the time. So I guess the studio did well by probably kicking me out for a bit. So I had to see what was going on backstage. Please, if you're here, just imagine that all people who are currently in-house actually shared this event. We're literally going to have, in fact, except maybe you don't show up on LinkedIn as often. Of course, you know that most times your feeds are as excellent as your availability on the platform. So if you've been here and then you know that you're going to benefit, because I noticed that, of course, when I was looking backstage, I saw a lot of persons who are coming in for the first times. Like I say again, our manner is to introduce you. I would want to say thank you so much, but I probably had asked before at the beginning of this conversation, please, we had upgraded our studio, so I think something is a bit too frozen. Like I noticed that it's a bit, maybe I don't know, maybe it's the system that is trying to catch up or something. So, but I don't know what it is. But my cursor is now tougher compared to last week. So, but then I will still look into. Please go ahead and just introduce yourself. Say what you do. Someone who is currently, in fact, when I was going through last 2 weeks events, I saw someone get a job right in in the corner, like somebody else responded to the person's introduction and said, "Oh, I was actually looking for someone who was doing this. I'd like to bring you on board." Now, I'm saying this is every single time we ask you to do things is because we also know that in as much as okay it's go in, please like this event as well, please react because it so helps the algorithm. I'm seeing this especially for people on Facebook and people on YouTube as well as here, so that we can increase and we can push the event by the number of people who are currently in. I'll say again, you're welcome on board. I'm going to try to introduce again. Please just leave some conversations. Let me just see if I could just spotlight a few persons as our manner is, so that we keep our promises, right? We said that every single time we show up here, we also have you in mind. I had apologized, and you guys all know me. I can always apologize more if that will make you comfortable. But I think first person I'm seeing here, whom I'm trying to highlight. Okay. So can everybody hear me? Okay, yes. So I think I can see Chigoni. She's Anne Chigoni. She's a customer support as well as a virtual assistant. She helps you in customs and streamlining. Okay. So I'm going to look through again and see how many anybody who must have left their introduction. You can reshare your introduction to help me, because I know my feeds are super delayed as well. So if you're on YouTube, Facebook, introduce, we'll all see you on the stream right here, and then we spotlight you as well for joining us, right? So now frozen again. So today I would just okay. I think I've seen someone else. It's still Chigi. Okay, I made an attempt at that just for the records, right? I'd want to say I'm grateful for everybody who has joined in. Like I said, I had a thought flow on probably like let's say a thought pattern for the event today. We just wanted to probably discuss a little bit on financial planning, because I noticed that of course some of the persons who are currently on this live event, somehow from the people I've heard so far, I think I saw Fortuna and a few other persons who had passed through the masterclass, and based on the fact that I have their feedbacks, I can literally also see that I can see that they are already. So today we wanted to probably just keep ourselves a little more financially accountable, because like we said, you're going to earn more. Okay, so it's like something brewing, or we're seeing it unfold upwards. So right now, you probably might be having some of those low job opportunities. Not the right time to look down on them because we are discussing high ticket now. No, we're saying that okay, yes, probably we had already treated most of the low tickets up until now. We have treated most of the. Sorry, guys, give me a moment. Sundays are usually family days for me. Okay, so we had already treated some of the low tickets up until now. So we're now treating the high tickets. Now we want to treat all the high tickets. What's the opportunities today? But then we're saying that for a proper transition between the low tickets and the high tickets, is that now we know that some of you, at least I know, passed through the masterclass, are already earning. So I even saw some of them already coming super early when opened up like the gates, right? We saw a lot of persons. So we had to bring out a financial expert as well, who is going to help us in this direction. So we want to be accountable for every little money that comes in. But then we are, like I said, the peak of today's event is essentially discussing the high ticket opportunities. Then we will, of course, unfold or unveil our bootcamp for the evening. So I'm already super excited, and I'm looking to see as many persons who are already in. We're starting off officially tomorrow morning. So maybe there's a little gate opening. Yes, I don't know. After we have 3 classes, the diet is for our volunteers, and then we have so the goal is for people who are both YouTube and as LinkedIn and every other monetization opportunities, while the Sapphire are just going to focus on LinkedIn. So but then I'm going to say again, you're welcome. Please help us share. Our mommy and our apostle, I call her my apostle of money, right? She's going to discuss um high end, or more like high tickets. Yes, that's the word. She's going to discuss high ticket opportunities this evening. So please just sit still. We just want to discuss a little bit on financial planning right now, and then we're going to go maybe chime dive yes, chime deep in or dive in, whatever English suits better. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining once again. Thank you, DMM. So I'm gonna bring in him up um right away. Okay, so Mr. Akin, if you are ready, just give me a thumbs up so I can. I think ma'am, allow me heavens, you can stay back because, like I said, I'm having a cold studio today. It's super frozen, so long. I did a studio upgrade today. So really apologize to go ahead and speak. Else, I would want to probably just a few of the conversations. So if you are part of the bootcamp, one of the things I noticed that some of the people who actually did direct payments didn't drop, maybe because of familiarity, and also most of the who did direct payments were already a part of the last camp or were part of the masterclass. So you didn't send in emails, right? So please, what you're going to probably just a DM if you're currently on this live, because we've already done all the informations, and in the group there are people who are currently where the boot campus are in is already open, people coming in. So wants to probably just add people around, wanted from for we wanted it to be an Asian. Okay, I'm still having a cold. Okay, this is still season. So okay, awesome. So Mr. Akin, if you're currently on this live, please go ahead and just say something. Let me be sure that I'm also seeing you, because I have from and
Loud
you're
and
already
clear.
up.
I can
Why are
hear
you on
you.
stage? Okay, awesome. So I can see you on
Good
stage
evening,
now.
everyone. Can
Please
you
just
hear
go
me now?
ahead and introduce yourself and probably just give us something to work for the and I think that all the boot campers are here because this is literally like mode zero, right? Mode zero, because everything we're going to be discussing tonight is in preparation for the next 21 days. And for me, I'm super excited to be here as well. So dear Mr. Akin, the mic is yours if you can hear me loud and clear.
All right. All right. Can you hear me, please? Let me just confirm if you can hear me.
Yes.
Loud and clear. Thank you. All right. My name is Akin Onifade, and I'm a financial consultant. I've been a financial consultant for the past 9 years now. I started off as a thrift collector. If you know what a thrift collector is, Yoruba, I believe they call them alajo, right? I worked for a particular company that collect thrift for 6 months. I worked for that company for 6 months. And I thought to myself, you know what? I think I can replicate this system by just setting up this business structure myself. So I left that company and started my own thrift business. Um, Over the course of 3 years, when I started my business, I was able to build that business to over 2,000 registered customers. I was able to build it to about a 1 million naira in monthly revenue. And what else? Okay, I was able to open about 4 different shops where people can just come over to register and start their savings business. So it was a very thriving business as at that time. I had staff who went out to collect thrift from people, and it was all fun and gloomy. And then about 4 years into the business, the whole thing just came crashing down. Right, it all came crashing down right in front of my eyes. And one of the major reasons why the business failed was because I was a very good marketer. I could communicate clearly to the people I wanted to collect trips from, but I was terrible with numbers. I was terrible with numbers. I couldn't figure out how to put my books in order. Although initially when it started, Um, it was just petty savings from about 10 to 20 people. But the moment my account started getting bigger, I didn't have the initiative to hire an accountant. So what happened? Um, I thought I was still doing a great job with my accounting, but unfortunately, it all came crashing down, right? Although there are other factors that made it crash, like staff who actually stole from me and the likes, but I chose not to put that blame on any person but myself, because I should have, done a proper due diligence, with my work, right? Now, fast forward to this year. I mean, it was a very traumatizing moment for me, right? Fast forward to this year, though, I decided to go back into the game. Although I left for, I just went ahead after the business to just recuperate. I worked for an asset financing company. I also worked for a business consulting company, but I was not satisfied with what I was doing, right? Then 2 years ago, I decided to quit my job and thought to myself, you know what? I think I need to build a personal brand, because hopping from one job to another is not really my thing. I just need to build that personal brand. But as of that time, I wasn't planning on building a personal brand on financial consulting, because that trauma was still there. I was trying to build a personal brand as a mindfulness coach and mindfulness advocate, because during that time my business crashed. I didn't really have anything that was holding me or putting me together except my meditation, right? I took my meditation really seriously as of that time. There's a particular book that I usually read before, the business crashed. The Code of the Extraordinary Mind by Vishen Lakiani. So I just decided to dive deep into meditation, and lo and behold, that book actually transformed my life. So I decided to just dedicate myself to writing about, mindfulness, and how it actually got me out of that depression of losing, a seven-figure business every month, right? And this year, I no, not this year, last year. Yeah, last year it's June or May. I think it was last year May. I decided to join LinkedIn back, and this was due to the fact that a friend introduced me to a particular free course like that, ALX. I'm sure a lot of people will be much more familiar with ALX courses right now. I decided to take a course on um, artificial intelligence, and they just kept hammering about the importance of LinkedIn. So I thought to myself, you know what? I've had an account before. Let me just go back there and see what I can do, because most of these social media platforms, I I don't really feel I don't really feel at home, for a lack of better word, right? So I decided to go on LinkedIn May last year, only to discover that my account was already restricted. I'm sure a lot of people will be familiar with this, you know, LinkedIn restricting your account. Then I decided to open another account. Um, I now thought to myself, I need to even have a stronger personal brand beyond just teaching about, mindfulness. Then in October of last year, the opportunity to join an insurance company came. I just jumped on the opportunity because I felt, wow, I think it is the universe that is actually speaking to me now, because this is me going back to, something I really enjoy doing, which is financial consulting, right? And then 2 months into the business, I discovered something that was quite strange to me, because I felt, Hmm. I've been a financial consultant for the past 9 years, but how is it that I'm just realizing this right now? And what I realized was that when I decided to join the insurance company, I said I'm going to niche down the people I'm going to, be talking to. That is my target audience, to career professionals and entrepreneurs, because I felt a lot of career professionals and entrepreneurs can benefit a lot from retirement plan. as well as education plan for their children, right? So I just delved into the whole idea of pitching to career professionals and entrepreneurs about retirement plan, planning for their retirement at a very young age, right? Just in case of a future. In fact, it's not in case, because of a future that they can't predict. They can't predict what will happen in the next 10 to 20 years, or even the retirement age of 65. The question is, will you be as agile? Will you be as strong and effective as you are right now, working on whatever you are working on, compared to the next 20 to 30 years, right? So that is what I was pitching to career professionals and entrepreneurs, and they felt interested, right? They felt, wow, this is a really good thing. They should dive into it. And then 2 days after the conversation, I'll hit them back up and be like, "What's up? When are you going to register?" They just start giving me that cold shoulder. And then I was thinking to myself, why is this getting more rampant, right? Because I was talking to a lot of people, they felt interested, but then again, they didn't want to sign up for it. Then I just started doing this, deep thoughts and critical thinking, right, about what the reason might actually be. And then when I started, introducing some other people to it, career professionals and entrepreneurs, I started including questions like, how is their budgeting like? Do you keep track of your daily expenses? And then I realized that a lot of people I've been speaking to can't even account for their expenses or their income in the past 24 hours. It was really shocking to me as of that time. Then I decided to do more research, and I realized this is even a global problem, right? According to a report by S&P, S&P is a rating company in America. It was discovered that about one third of young adults are financially illiterate. That was just really mind blowing to me. One third of young adults are financially illiterate. I was like, wow, this is even a deeper problem than I anticipated. Then I decided to rebrand myself as not just that financial consultant, but as a financial literacy advocate. Because the best way I can even get, my target audience right now is if I can even add value to their life by making them understand the importance of budgeting, by making them understand the importance of bookkeeping, by making them understand the importance of keeping track of their financials, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, right? So I just decided to rebrand myself in, I think, sometime around December of last year. That, what, let me just go into this aspect. Then I was looking for an amplifier, so to speak, or more like a megaphone, right, that can help me push this message out there, right? Again, I think the universe was just conspiring or something to make things happen as of that time. Then I came across, the boot camp, Dr. Vivian's boot camp, and I thought, wow, I think this is going to be a perfect platform for me to actually showcase financial literacy, right? And I was not wrong. I was I was not wrong, because it was one of the best decisions I actually made, to join the boot camp, because I've met a lot of incredible people. I've been able to amplify my message beyond the reach that I even anticipated for myself, right? But I'll just quickly dive into the whole aspect of financial planning. I'll give you just 5 tips of financial planning that everyone actually needs to pay close attention to, right? And the first one is to adopt a wealth building mindset. I think Mrs. Evans has actually mentioned something about mindset. I'm just going to emphasize on that one again, right? I'll be quoting a lot of Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. If you are familiar with him, if you are not, please go and check out his content on YouTube. is an incredible guy when it comes to talking about financial planning and wealth building, right? So one of the things I usually take out from what he says is the fact that, see, being poor is actually a virus. You know, it's that scarcity mindset that people have within themselves, right? That um, they are in lack, right? That they don't have anything tangible to actually hold on to, right? And this mindset actually, like you mentioned, it's a virus. It's something that actually starts from childhood. Think about your background. For instance, what kind of background, did you grow up in? Is it a background that actually, are you surrounded in an environment where people complain about money all the time, right? You realize that, this is something much deeper than just coming here to share, telling you about budgeting, telling you about, creating multiple streams of income. Because by the time you start peeling the layers, you realize that it is much more deeper than those things. It has to start with our mindset first. What exactly do you envision about financial planning? What do you what do you see when you talk about money with your friends, with your family? How do you communicate to people when you talk about money? And this is something that, look, I'm not a perfect guy. Even in fact, even up until this very moment, when I communicate with my friends, I realize some or most of the time when we are talking about money, we are always talking in lack as against abundance, right? We are always talking about lack, and this is a very, very toxic conversation to have, because whatever you say to yourself, right, it is imminent to actually pour out in the real world, right? Your personality actually determines your personal reality. So whatever you keep telling yourself about money, whatever you keep telling yourself about wealth building, um, it is something that is sure to manifest, right? And consider the fact that it has already become an habit to keep talking about money in negative way, right? It is, although it is not something that is impossible to eradicate, but it is not something that is easy, right? To just all of a sudden wake up one day and say, oh, I have a positive mindset about money, because it has already become an habit. It has been wired and rewired in our brain since probably childhood to think about money, to think about wealth in a certain way. So we need to make an effort to first of all be aware about the way we talk about money. We need to be aware about the conversations we have surrounding money, right? And as Socrates would put it, you need to know thyself. You need to really start, thinking about what money truly means to you as a person. You need to start changing that mindset from lack to abundance. So I'll just give you a quick tip on what I do every morning when I wake up. Um, the first 3 to 4 hours in the morning is always a me time, right? Whereby I try to look inward compared to that natural impulse of, waking up in the morning and the first thing you do is grab your phone. I I try as much as possible not to do that, right? The first thing I do every morning is a quick meditation, a 5 minutes meditation. But I call it a gratitude meditation, where I just think about the everyday miracle of being alive, and the fact that I'm surrounded in just nature, basically. The fact that I'm surrounded in nature, because where I live, where I stay, there's a lot of nature. There you see a lot of trees, birds singing in the morning to wake you good morning. That's the kind of area I stay. So I'm always grateful for all those kind of things, and this primes my brain to think in abundance, right? I think about my family and the fact that I have them around me. I think about the fact that I have food and water to drink. All these little things that we literally don't pay close attention to. Imagine if you start thinking about them now every time you wake up in the morning. You might think, it is just something simple, but trust me, the more you keep doing things like that, the more you are priming your brain to start looking for abundance as against lack. Now, compared to someone who wake up every morning and the first thing they do is pick up their phone to, check for, just looking for that cheap dopamine of checking for how many likes or impressions they got on their previous post the last day, right? Compared to that kind of person, trust me, that person is always going to be in a lack state of mind, because when you wake up, you're already priming your brain for lack, right? It's that simple and short. So what I'm saying in essence is that your mindset is very important when it comes to financing, and wealth building. It is extremely, extremely important. So quickly, let me move to the second thing. You need to set a clear financial goal. Now, this is like a step-by-step guide, right? When you work on your mindset, like I said, it's not it's not just something you do in a day and then discover that you have a positive mindset. This is an habit you need to wire and rewire in your brain every single time when you wake up, right? Like I said before, always fall short of of these things, because when I communicate with my friends, sometimes I realize that I'm still thinking in lack. So even me that have been practicing this thing for the past 2 years now, trust me, I'm not perfect. I don't have it all figured out, right? But this is something you just need to keep doing every day, right? And anytime you observe that you're already thinking in lack, you don't have to judge yourself for thinking that way. I think we are all human. We are prone to think in lack and in abundance, but what you really want to do is prime your brain for abundance. So anytime you catch yourself thinking in lack, just observe and be aware, and let it pass by like a wave in an ocean, right? It will always come and go. So like I said, the second thing is to set a clear financial goal, right? You need to set a clear financial goal for exactly what you want. Now, earlier this year, last year was for me, setting financial goals last year was it was no fun, because I didn't really have a steady stream of income last year, right? But even with the little that I had, I tried as much as possible to budget myself every day. But then again, it was not perfect. In December of this year, I decided to tell myself, you know what, whatever I'm going to do for the rest of this year, I need to write it down right now. The financial goals I need to actually achieve, right? Or make an attempt to start. I need to actually write them right now, right here. So in December of last year, I decided to put down about three different financial goals that I would like to achieve and must have achieved by December of 2025. And one that was top of my list was a retirement plan, right? I decided to start a retirement plan. I decided I'll start a retirement plan by January, although I actually started by February this month, right? I started a retirement plan for myself. You know, again, it is all about looking for that. You don't have to set a retirement plan for yourself if it is not part of your financial plan for the year, right? This is just my own, financial goals, and what I feel will actually help me in fulfilling my dreams in the future or now, right? So my goal is to set a retirement plan. Your goal might be something else completely, right? But mine was, to set a retirement plan, to have a steady emergency fund of about 3 to 6 months for myself this month. And the third thing was more on trying to buy courses and excuse me, and on buying courses and books. So every 3 months I'm going to set up a financial goal to to set up a plan whereby I can be able to buy courses or books, right? So every quarter there is going to be a course that I'll be doing. Every month there's a book that I'll be buying, right? So those are the three major financial goals I actually, although they are like quite a few, but those are just the three major financial goals that I set for myself. So you need to look at your financial goals for the year, or you need to look at exactly what you want to achieve for the year. If it is something that is going to require money, you need to start putting that financial goals in place right now, right? Whether it is your retirement plan, whether it is budgeting for buying courses or books, right? Whatever it might be, you need to start putting that financial plan in order, right? And let me go quickly to the third thing. It is to create and stick to a budget. Now, it is not just enough to set up a financial plan for the year. You need to have that discipline to stick with it. I think this is one of the most important thing. um a lot of people have new year resolution, but how many people actually end up fulfilling that new year resolution by the end of the year? This is the question you need to ask yourself. How am I going to stick to my budget for the year? My financial plan, how am I going to stick with it? Now, the best way you can actually do that is through automating, right? Whatever financial plan you have for the year, you need to start thinking about how can I actually automate it. Whether it is your retirement plan, okay, every certain time of the month. I mean, there are quite a number of fintech companies, fintech hubs that actually help you automate some of your budget, right? Now, I have a retirement plan that I started this month. The fintech company I'm using is on automation. Anytime an income, anytime a particular money enter into my own account, no, not even money specifically, a specific time of the month, a specific time of the month, my retirement fund is always is always going to pull out my retirement fund from that my main account into my retirement account automatically, without me thinking about it, right? So whatever financial plan you have, you need to think about automating it. I'm sure some of the banks you use have that in place. I'm sure. Just go into them and look for a way you can automate your financial plans for the year, right? So because it helps you not just to think about it twice. It gives you that opportunity to focus on other things, right? You don't have to concentrate on oh, when am I even supposed to pay for this particular plan that I did? It is already automated. It is going to pick out your money immediately and put it into your financial budget for the year, right? So that is that about setting, creating and sticking to a budget. Now, quickly to the fourth one is to build multiple income streams. Build multiple income streams. Now, there's something that Dr. Olumide usually say. He will say that you need to build multiple income streams across geography, that is across country. You need to build multiple income streams across currencies, like not just in naira. You need to build them across different currencies that you can lay your hands on, right? Because of inflation and cost of living, right? So um you can have that edge over inflation. You need to also build multiple income streams across realms. This is the part that even blew my mind. That look, when you are thinking about building wealth, you should be thinking about building a legacy and not just be in that survival mode of trying to eat all things for yourself. Like it has to be, you have to have a mindset that you are building a legacy. You have to have a mindset that what if I actually drop dead today? will this particular business live on? Um, I usually use I usually use the case of Herbert Wigwe, the may so rest in peace, the former MD of Access Bank, right? Um, his death was actually shocking to me, right? But what was even more shocking was the fact that I think he died on a weekend. But the following Monday, there was already a successor. I mean, when you talk about legacy, that is what we call legacy, right? This man didn't just build his wealth, he actually had a plan for it to be succeeded anytime he's not around. I mean, think about the business you are currently doing. God forbid, if you should not be around today, where would that business actually be, right? This is something you actually need to start putting at the back of your mind. So that is what Dr. Olumide was saying when he said you need to start building your wealth across realms, right? And usually he mentioned something very striking again about building multiple streams of income. He said if all your money is in Kano State, for instance, and there is crisis in Kano, you are finished. Now think about LinkedIn. If all your money is on LinkedIn and for some reason the government decides to ban LinkedIn in Nigeria, trust me, you are finished. Think about all the businesses that lost money because of the ban of TikTok in US, right? Although I think they're already working out a plan to bring it back, or they have even brought LinkedIn back, TikTok back to US, right? But just think about that very moment that all those crises happened. Trust me, a lot of businesses, they lost a lot of money just because they kept their stream of income just on TikTok. So when it comes to building wealth, you need to think about building multiple streams of income. You can't just rely on LinkedIn. You need to start thinking about other platforms, right? And trust me, I'm guilty of this. Um, in fact, it was earlier this year that I decided to open a new Facebook account because the old Facebook account I had, in fact, I can't even remember the password again. So I just decided to open a new Facebook account this year. So this is something you need to start thinking about clearly, right? You need to have an email list of your customers. You need to have an email list of your clients. It is very, very important. You don't know what will happen tomorrow if you are just focusing on one particular platform to sell your market or your product. Please just keep that at the back of your mind. And finally, invest in financial education. I mean, I cannot emphasize this enough, right? Whether it is joining Dr. Vivian's bootcamp, whether it is, just making an attempt to build your wealth in one way or another, you need to just educate yourself financially. You need to. It is a priority now more than ever to know where your money is going, how much you are spending, because if you don't, you will not probably know how to grow your business. In fact, this is not even about probability. You will definitely not know how to grow your business. Tracking your daily income, tracking your daily expenses. It might seem subtle, it might seem small and non-vital, but trust me, just doing things like this can actually go a long way in building your financial freedom. Just this small daily act can actually go a long way in building your financial freedom. So you need to start paying attention to how you can actually educate yourself financially, right? So thank you, Dr. Vivian. Let me drop the mic now. Thank you so much. Oof.
Kinonifadi, thank you so much. I mean, this is I love the way you're so soft spoken finances because literally, that is your life. That's the thing. Please, I want us to just please celebrate him throughout the comment section. Let him know. Please tag him. Anybody who the persons are from the community who are current live, please just do well to tag him so that as many persons can follow. I'll say it again to everyone who is currently on this live. Please, if you are just probably just peeping, nobody will know you're here. You can't grow by the numbers if you don't have this conversation. So please go ahead and leave conversations and leave your thoughts on the matter. That's why this I prefer this to audio events right now, because now we can actually also read your ideations even as he is talking. And then one of the things I was just super excited to hear you speak, because it was seeming like you took all the modules from the boot camp and you were just saying it literally what we have planned to do this time around. I mean, starting from having a proper and a robust global mindset down to eventually paying attention to how you can increase your multiple streams of income. I mean, okay, so you were talking about TikTok US band. Okay, no, it was long relieved already. But then we still keep saying it in our masterclass. We keep screaming, build your email list, build your email list. And you don't, okay, I'm not gonna say, let me hold it back, because if I say everything here now, you people won't come to you people don't understand that actually part of the things we do is actually to help you know that okay, every time we come out on Sunday, for me, literally, all the pressure of maybe trying to use the number of persons who come on live really has really left me. Like I said, we still use these videos. That's why a podcast like what did you call it? At the end of today, we're gonna have these videos cut in friendships, because of course our volunteers have come on board and we're gonna spread it all around. So whatever, but I'll still say our room is large enough to accommodate the millions. This we might not. The reason why we open these doors every Saturday, there is help, right? There is help so that you know also where to find help. Yes, so awesome. So I'm seeing everybody converse. Awesome. This is lovely. Now I love what is going on in the comment section right now, because sincerely, except you know some of these things, you won't even know what to do. I mean, see what he talked about automation. I mean, in the sense that it's not now you saying whether I'm going to give my time, as the way some of you are struggling to pay us right now. It is that at the end of every month, something is just taken away from your account to help you make that decisions, right? So that at the end of us having, because I see some people, because you now have more every day you're eating shawarma. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not telling you guys what I don't go through. Literally, okay. Now let me say my favorite is chicken and chips. And every single day, all of a sudden to eat is wahala. I just feel like, okay, I'm going to be working so hard. I work literally the whole day. I mean, the night I rarely sleep, and then the next time, just tell myself, well, you deserve it. Just buy that chicken and chips. But just calculate it from where I stay. If I want to have a lovely meal, rather than eating what I, of course, every month you budget, go to the market, either me or my spouse go to the market, go and get those meals. We've already budgeted this is how much of food that is going out. Then imagine that after making such huge budgets and bringing in the meals or the food raw materials, you still have to be eating out all the time. You really can't. I'm saying this because I know that we have freelancers on this call, and some of them, the way their body language is, I don't want to call names, but literally I know that they are eating their seed. So the same works for those people who are super what's the word? One of the things I've realized is this, right? Every spiritual law was actually postulated so that you can use it for even the physical. So you decided that okay, I'm going to be taking out a 10% to probably give to someone who has always exchanged ideas. Like me, I've always said it over and over again. Please don't be in any place where you're taking in things for free, even in your spiritual places. So you're Muslim, you're a Christian, whatever tribe or tongue. Don't go to any place consistently and you're not asking yourself, how do these people bring, how does this light come in here? How come during the service we don't have any light? How come you're not asking something to you? Is that for your own life? You know what when he was talking about medicine, you will not be mindful for your own self. In fact, it will become habits will be stifled. And for me, one of the things I on is this: if you do go up, it's a law. So a lot of people are saying, okay, they are being super frugal, they don't spend anyhow. What you have to do is, now you're going to, just like what he was saying about coming up with a financial plan, you're going to sit down and make proper plans for what you know you need. So of course there are two ways for planning and spending for the year. Okay, of course there's a place for, if maybe plan year retreats. Okay, maybe you can go for a vacation, and all place for planning what you give back to you. So as your monies are coming, you might separate a 10% depending on your religious belief for where necessary, and then another 10% like monthly, like as money is coming in, so that you spend another 10%. You can separate them into the tens, maybe 10% to your parents or your dependents, so that you literally live a life that is consistently giving out. Right. So I'm saying this now because there are extremes. A lot of people might focus so much on their businesses, they neglect their family. They might focus so much on their spiritual life, they might neglect their business, and so many things. A lot of people are breaking so many laws, right? But we will always say this over and over again: your money, your communities. Okay, now we need to release some of the cheat sheet bootcamp. We're not going to release everything. So this is also part of the things. When I was meditating for this event today, part of the things that came strongly to me was this. That concept of giving and taking. Literally, when somebody described in the Bible that God gives and God takes, I think that was Job, right? It was, for me, in the sense, based on my meditation, part of the things I eventually just came to one with, I realized that if you're here, right, in whatever niche you are, if you are not giving and taking, you're leaving money on the table, right? As Miss Apostle Heavens will always say, you're leaving money on the table. It means that if you're too frugal for yourself, not to know when to invest in yourself to get that course, you are leaving money on. Guess what? You will never know. So some people are currently on this life, they might never be in the boot camp. That's just the truth. But you know what that means? It means that whatever anybody would definitely you change their lives as we speak, you will be left out of it. So it might take you another cycle, maybe another 1 year cycle, another 2 years cycle, or maybe another opportunity, maybe with somebody else, but each time as we might have had for you. So you never can tell. In fact, for me, like I said at the beginning of this event, part of my greatest search right now is to find somebody like me who can be that, so that I can pivot to another level. So of course I'm not on one, because now I am now having events these of 20,000 persons. Even if I decide to rest and I don't come out again, and all I have to do ads on my teachings and still be good, right? Or of course I've already had the portfolios. I don't know who has attendees like on LinkedIn. I don't know. I don't know, but then the reason why I know this for myself is because I am accountable. I am super mindful of every activity and everything I am also churning out. That's essentially what he was saying now. So paying attention to automation. So part of things we're going to also discuss in the bootcamp are some of those apps. As soon as you're earning, it will just take it out and save it up for you, and you can't touch it. You can't break it. And if you're going to break it, you have to lose some percentage of the money. So not just any percentage. If you break it before the stipulated time, you might lose up to 10%, which is so that you know that every single time when you need to be restrained. So that's essentially what we have been discussing this night. That part of the reason why some of us are still looking as though we don't have money is because we are not accountable. So any money that just comes in, you get the latest shoes, the latest. But I will still say that it's not bad if you're passing the industry. Of course, you know that the latest shoe, some of those things that you people are seeing online. I mean, I think one of it was this Valentine. Somebody we saw a teddy bear, literally, I think 7 or 8 foot size, a teddy bear, guys. I'm not saying this as a gossip, right? I saw a teddy bear as in 8 foot size, and then I saw thousands of dollars literally wrapped as flowers, and we saw gifts, bags. You are not, and then the next thing you're going to do is how you want to put on the little, maybe 1 million naira that you probably have somewhere, because from selling the course. You just want to go and buy. In fact, Hermes is not, the amounts. I think their bags are almost 50,000. Of course, there are some in the range of prices though. But then one of the things you find out is that some of these persons, I mean, if I were also handling the personal brand of an actor and an actress, part of the things I'm going to do is to come up with collaborations with the flower industry, with the teddy bears, with just name all the industries. Days like that where people are super free and they're online for what's the word now? Looking for hype or looking for clouds, photo shoot with all those things. We'll send them back to the owners, including the dollars to their bookie. So you see that literally some of those guys just do those shows not because they're actually spending their money for those things. They just want to. That's part of their brand. So if you're an actress, that is part of the things you should be looking at doing, right? So now we're still saying this. We're saying this in the sense that you need to pay attention to how you let those monies come out. So this is again, maybe I'm going to be adding this thought to whatever he has said tonight, is that once money that is coming in is less one going out, that's the perfect of being broke, right? That everybody calls being broke. So what's the money that is going out? Once the money that is going out is less than that is coming in. And then of course I will still say it again, you should class your, I don't know how to say this word down, break it down into two, in the sense that okay, money that should be going out should be divided into two. In fact, maybe one third should maybe be on your general upkeep, your brand formation and all that. Of course, their season, a lot of times when we're talking about these things, we're saying that there is no balance in life, right? You should know, everybody's in their different seasons. So you should know when you should be in. Okay, so the other time when we had to go out, okay, we started on live. Sometimes we'll use our phone, we'll use our laptop. Of course, my mic set and every other thing, I already had it because I generally had transitioned to remote job. So I didn't have challenges with this. But then as it changed, you can't say that, okay, because now you're beginning to grow, you won't even spend for the sake of other persons. Okay, so now part of the thing last week, even though we had budgeted for a particular plan, the plan didn't come out quite right, because it was hidden. So we went and we upgraded again. So there are some times that there are some seasons of a lot has to go back into the business. Now, I think that was part of the things Mr. Aki was talking about when he was Mr. Herbert Migwe. One of the questions I'm going to ask is, what percentage of that have? So some of you actually think that's probably because you see a lot of persons out there, right? They really they are billionaires because they took on leadership. So that's part of the for the Phoenix Kids members, because leadership is money. I'll say it again, leadership is money. So probably will not sit down at home and come up with the ideation of a bank. But so probably what we're going to do as an assignment, or if there's anybody who is currently on percentage that he has, that would probably let her to move on, whether he was there or not. So part of the reason continuity is because of lack of systems, right? And then of course that's part of things that we are actually trying to build as well for the Phoenix. The truth is, for people to be, you have to have people who can equally want. Times we're talking about network, we call persons who are the top guys now. Jeff Bezos, what's his name right now? This very famous one, I think Elon Musk. Yes, the percentage of, if by the time you find out the percentage of their monies in the business, you're gonna laugh. Literally laugh. But then it tells you one thing, that leadership speaking can anyone, like the kids being able to have a drive, able to be passionate about anything, how it can literally change your life forever. And some of the times, all those cars, all those buildings that you're seeing them put around, some of them don't drive those cars because they care about those cars. Most of them don't even, but because of the brand, right, they might just even run some partnership just to make sure that okay, something looks aesthetically attractive. And these are some of the truths that lots of persons lots of people behind the scenes don't know. So you find out that that little money that you've earned, instead of you to invest in yourself, you've already gone to price 15 weeks. Okay, you've already gone to price a car. The first money that came into you, you just want to go and quickly just you've prosperity that they might have been, because that is their own prosperity for that phase of finance gotten into. Right. So that's part of the things that a lot of us do. We just look at them and we literally just do copy and paste. But then your business is suffering. You can't even pay for a course. You can't even separate money. I mean, as low as I know how much we charge. We had to even come up with this affair so that it won't be that money is actually the challenge why people actually would want to earn and still. I started wondering, I was like, oh my goodness, this is serious. But then I'm hoping that a lot of persons who are currently on this life will pay a little more attention to their finances, pay attention to themselves, and take yourself more seriously. So I even said it, of course. There's a part of our communities who are going to be joining the bootcamp. So I'll still say it again here. If you are here and you know that truly you don't have what it takes to be a part of the bootcamp, that's how passionate I am about it. Please just reach out to me, right? Maybe you can just write FA, just write FA. I can still see, I would interview, like I'll still say again, what people don't understand is when you are proclaiming some of these things, when you're saying this is who you are and that is not who you are denting your personal brand. And then it's also showing your relationship with finances. You might not be trusted. At least me, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? So that was why I had to divide the camps into different areas. Of course, the gold members are literally going to have everything in the package. I mean, I'm talking about community building. We're going to talk about presentations. We're going to even have them present and all that. We're going to have competitions generally for the entire group. Okay, so that when we are offering certificates, that's why the last boot camp we didn't offer any award that we felt. We didn't want the award to be based on what we felt it was. We're going to have an open competition here. I mean, debates, presentations, right? And then you guys who are the live people are going to choose who you think the winner is, and we're going to literally certify them based on that. But I'll still say again that the idea behind certification is not to say that anybody was better than the other, but we just probably just want to give all those who participate some sense of belonging. So I would want to say, yeah, so I can see a lot of people also conversing here. Mm, okay. Okay. So please, if you can hear me, just write HH. Let me be sure. I can see that a few persons are complaining on board and they're saying something about the network because I'm seeing myself perfect here. Like I said, what I had was a studio upgrade. So I was having a cold studio. So it meant that my entire studio was frozen. Not that I had a network challenge. So I don't know. Please, if you can all hear me, we're going to take a minute to just write HH. Then please let's just shower our love on Mr. Akin Onifade. Please go and follow his awesome. Please just go and follow him. And if I would need to bring him on board on the boot camp to do any specific training, please I'll let you all know. But then thank you so much, Onifade, for coming on board. I really, really celebrate you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Awesome. So you can leave if you have something else pressing. I said part of
All right.
our recording style now have a one-on-one. Thank you so much. Okay, awesome. So I can see, yes, let me spotlight all the persons I can see. I can see Blessing, I can see Catman. Thank you so much for saying loud and clear. Eddie Khan, thank you so much for letting her know that it was actually her network. Okay, I can see Aishat, thank you so much. Oh, Always Bube, thank you so much. I can see Asukwo, thank you so much. Buki Nishak, thank you. Evangeline, thank you so much. That's awesome. So I would still say it again. Don't get to a point in your life where you feel that you don't have what it takes to start your financial journey, and see make those commitments. It's better that at the end of the year you'll be able to write in your conversations or document the fact that you have made. Okay, so when you're listing, you can write number one, you paid for the boot camp. Yes. So if somebody's asking you, what did you do with this year? And for me, most of the people who are our masterclass students, like I said, the first boot camp one was wired for visibility. So when I thought it through, I was like, okay, well, we needed to step up our game. Next month, I already have a theme for next month's boot camp so that we can always step it up. So we said, okay, now why don't we focus on the money, exactly what we've been doing in the master class, and then step up and visibility so that we can see where this goes. So I would want to really appreciate you, Mr. Akin. Join us back. Please, you're welcome, and I really celebrate you. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Yes, so someone is saying financial education is
Thank you for
very,
having
very
me.
important. Awesome. So every single time money comes to you, pay attention. I'm very grateful that we're a generation of persons who literally have their bank statements. It means that you can literally print it out and see where your money goes. And please practice a habit of writing your narration for every spending you do. Practice a habit of writing your narration so that you won't have to look back to your bank statement. And you're like, who is Aminu? Why did I transfer 500,000? Why did I transfer 800,000? So you'll be able to know exactly what you have been doing so far. For me, most of the time, I literally sit down and I read my bank statement as a book. Literally, I read it as a book, and at the end of the day, I breathe. Okay. So that's part of things that everyone needs to pay attention. Yes. So I can see already the greetings are coming in. They are celebrating you, Mr. Akin. Thank you so much. So I'm going to be bringing our as next speaker on board. Mama, if you're ready, just okay. So I think I've brought you on board. Thank you so much, Mr. Aki. I really, really appreciate you for coming on as awesome. So thank you so much. Okay, awesome. Oh yes, Mommy Olushola has been screaming my accountability partner. I hope he can hear us. Okay, yes. So they were all members of the first boot camp and they were accountability partners. So that's the beauty of joining some of these camps. You might get an opportunity to be an accountability partner to somebody who is super excellent and you get to learn a lot from them. So for us, we're also giving an opportunity for collaborations. So I'm going to look in again. I think I have brought you on board, dear ma'am. I think it is left to. Okay, so far I want to look into the comment sections and see some of our ideations and our thoughts so far and see what you have learned. What are you coming up with? Especially for our boot campers, if you are right with us and you're part of the boot camp, please just say something. I'm here, I'm a boot camper. Just let everybody know. And then please help us share. I noticed that this event, that was actually what I was looking out for when I was having some of those conversations, while he was having some of those conversations. But I'm grateful to God that I was super focused to have heard and seen everything. Please just help us share the event if you're just joining in. Like I said again, if this is your first time coming on board, this is my first time. After every event, we have our volunteers. They're going to reach out to you to ensure that you have a safe landing on LinkedIn. Like I said, LinkedIn, you just want to ensure that you're around people. Okay. So I don't know what happened to our last week's, I think was it our last 3 weeks event. I went back to it and we had literally 4,000 persons after the event. Okay. So when they go to during these events, why didn't they just come up live and just and get the opportunity to meet? So guys, keep the chats going so that everybody who is on this live can know that you're here with ourselves. I want to be able to have opportunity now. I'm referring someone, and I know that okay, I'm not just referring you because you're crying out to me that okay, there's an opportunity, just because I know that you're going to do the job. I think Miss Heavens gave her testimony last week of the person she got here. I mean, you can't explain 6 months of working with somebody, and it was just because the person was super active and in the please do well to help us share as well. So I'm going to take a moment, ma'am, if you're ready, just let me know. But I'm going to take a moment to just spotlight everyone who has shared this event so far. I'm hoping that I'm paying attention to you as well. Okay, so Anita Ben just shared. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. Favor Atope, thank you so much. Mercy Johnson, I really appreciate you. Chigon, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Chidima, these are all boot campers. Chidima, I've not seen you in the camp yet. I don't know if I'm not sure I saw your email. Okay, so Rosalind, so please, if you registered for the boot camp and you paid, please check your email. Those people who opted out for direct transfers, I've not added anyone from the direct transfers, and it's because that was a bit off system. Some of those other ones we just we did a systematic recording. So please, you might just want to reach out to us this night so that we can regularize all that. Then Esther, thank you so much for sharing. Amnesia, Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Precious, I appreciate you. Jake, I appreciate you for sharing. Please, guys, everyone, currently, if you know you're benefiting from the discover, please help us share on across Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. From next week, we're going on. Okay, yes, from next week we're going to be talking about. We're going to go down to yes Instagram, and then we're also paying attention to our TikTok. As soon as our TikTok gets to its first 1,000, we're building it there as well, so that we're going to have 5 platforms. So I'm even going to see if I know on virality. So if I know if I just probably just find someone who is already long grown, who I would collab, I'm pretty sure that I should get that in a day if that can work out for me. So it by next week we'll be having TikTok. But next week officially we're going down to Instagram as well. So that is how. So you heard him say it again. This is not the time to invest in multiple streams. This is not the time. Of course, we all know that organic lives are better than streams. Hope everybody knows this and is paying attention. Okay, so it means that okay, if we'll do Instagram this week, Facebook this week, YouTube this week, it'll be a lot better than using a show, because streaming tools can dips the algorithm, but it's better we still step up. Whatever it is, whether we have 3 persons. Now it's the job of everybody who is currently viewing, because I can see some viewers from Facebook and YouTube. Just go ahead and share, please set it as well, so that we can build our connection. So if you're there, please subscribe and follow for Facebook. Thank you so much, DMM. So today we're going to be talking. So we have discussed, because we know that a lot of you have already figured out the money challenge, right? So for some of you who still haven't started earning, you're already in the boot camp. So I don't have any pressure. I don't have to say anything much today, right? So part of the things we're saying is today we're officially rounding up our discussions on how to land remote job opportunities by stepping it a little bit higher, because we know that our dearest mom here and speaker here has literally worked on very high top tier companies. So essentially what we're going to be discussing now is how to maintain top tier, like prepare for that high ticket opportunities tonight. So dear ma'am, I don't know if you can hear me, but I am super excited already because my ears are already going up. They're really going up because I know that as everybody has had their writing material so far, because she had already helped introduce and she's taking this back on. So for and you're from the bootcamp, just write BC. Let's know that you're here as well, because there are certain information I'm going to be passing right at the end. This event today, we're not going to stretch too long. That's my plan. But then I know that there are certain things that a lot of our boot campers might not have been armed with. If this is your first time on LinkedIn, I'll say it again: join the boot camp. Don't suffer. Don't stress yourself. Don't suffer. You don't need all those stress. Just go ahead and just join the boot camp. And let's give you a sub. We had divided them into 2 tiers. That if you like general one, okay, like the general one, I think what we gave that the other time before we took it up again. If you can come in tonight, please join in. It's on the comment section. You can just going to see it there, both of them. Just find and join in. And then of course, if you'd want something more personalized, like a clarity call right now as she speaks, please pay attention to her. Find her details, please. Someone who's already on the chat, I think Esther, you are here. Please help me just tag Ma'am Allow Me Heavens, because I would also be tagging. One of the things I've noticed with your stream is once you tag people's comments, the speakers won't be visible. The speaker's name might not be super visible. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to be spotlighting conversations going on, but as well, someone should just help me tag her. And then hopefully by next week, we won't have all those that's coming up again, because we're going to have volunteers sitting behind and handling these conversations as well. Okay, so I'm going to be handing my mic over to Ma'am Allow Me Heavens. And yes, I was saying, if you want a more chiseled and a short-term, short burst clarity call, you might want to just reach out to her. I mean, of course, everybody on LinkedIn knows her to be the monetization queen, and she has, I would say it again, before I allow her talk, she was pivotal. Like my first monetization call was her. She actually had to push us because for more than 4 months we ran the boots. We ran Phoenix Gates and we didn't monetize anywhere. But then, of course, it was super exhausting because I had to also focus on so many other things, so many other jobs, like a liability on me since nothing was coming out from there. So part of the counseling I was favored to had she spoke at the Phoenix Gates events and gave us an opening as well. So a lot of us jumped in on the call, and literally we have a lot of us in the community. I mean, all the big dogs. I don't know how to say this, but there are certain people that give me joy that have paid for everything that we've offered on the Phoenix Gate. I mean, from the everybody who has come from the grand school to content writing or table writing, and those persons, all of them have passed through her. And then I'm so honored to see that. I even had one session with one of them last week, right? And she kept saying, I mean, saying so much good things about what she had also gained from this amazing woman. Dear ma'am, I'm going to be handing over the mic to you right now. Please, just the Phoenix Gate spirits, just lit the fire, let the dragon come out, right? Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming on board. I really honor you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vivian. It's an honor anytime I come to this platform. And I'd already started talking earlier on, so I'm guessing that some people might have missed part of what I said. But I'm very glad that Mr. Aki came up and also said a couple of things, picking a bit also from what I said about the mindset and the fact that it's important how you position your mindset where you're going. So you, just like Dr. Vivian said, you started, but now you want to maintain a particular level and you want to go to another level. You want to ensure that you're making the money and you're doing the projects that are probably the high ticket projects. Now, you might already have your position, and I will use an example, for instance, whether you're in the creative industry. I am, in event and media, apart from being a monetization coach, which I've done for over 2 decades. And I'm so excited to do that because I'm also multifaceted. And I find a lot of people on this platform whose challenge is being multidimensional. You're multifaceted, you are creative. And so the creativity is now like a huge spanner in your wheel. And it looks like you're not going anywhere. So you might have started something, but you're looking at how do I get to the next level? Number one of the things I will tell you is, first of all, just as Mr. Aki said, what is your goal? Where exactly are you going? There's no over there. There's no such thing as I just want to be where they are. Who are they? It doesn't, creativity, yeah, is a very good thing, but sometimes it can be a liability because in your mind, you're like, I just want to get there. You hear people say that, I'm like, okay, where is the there exactly? Is it that there's a location? Is it Mars? What do you want to what do you want to achieve? The same way, just like you're saving money, you need to ask yourself, what do I want to become? Is it that, okay, I want to do like top tier projects in this particular capacity or this particular amount? Is it that I want to work with this particular kind of companies, this level of companies? Is it that I want to be seen as the top tier of this particular industry? So you determine what it is. That's why they say success is, relative. What success is to you is different from what success is to another person. Somebody is saying, okay, this year I want to have a $1,000, investment, maybe in stock and something. And that person is saying, well, I just want to put $5,000 aside here, another $5,000 aside here. Your mind might not be able to fathom that. Another person is thinking $50,000. So you decide what big is to you, first of all. Number two, when you're talking, of course, we were talking earlier on and they mentioned remote opportunities. Even when you want to go for remote opportunities, of course, you are starting from somewhere. But the question is, and I want you to ask yourself and be truthful to yourself, if you were another person, would you give yourself these huge opportunities you are looking for? It's a question you should ask yourself and be sincere. Because when you're sincere with yourself, you're able to tell yourself, you know what, I don't think I'm at par. That person that is saying, oh, I want to charge $100 per hour, $250 per hour, to be sincere. When you put yourself at par with that person, are you doing well? I'm not talking about financially now. I'm talking about the information you have, the experience you have. Then the question might be, but I don't have experience. Who will give me experience? How would I make it when they don't give me experience? That's where volunteering comes in. A lot of people nowadays, I'm not going to say all, but I've met a lot of people who don't want to volunteer. And you can't eat your cake and have it a lot of times. If nobody's employing you, employ yourself by volunteering somewhere. And this is coming from a good place. It's coming from someone who is a serial, volunteer for a good cause. In as much as you know me as an event veteran, a media veteran, monetization coach, I have been a volunteer in the INGO space for about 24 years, if not more. I have done various projects from kick out malaria, HIV campaigns, different, talk about it. UN affiliated NGOs, Junior Chamber International. I've volunteered to be on the media strategy team of the first, first Nigerian president to be on Junior Chamber International in the world. Why? Because you can't say yes because you are in the media. You want to find out if I'm really good at those things I think I'm good at. And if I'm really good at it, who will know that I'm good at it if I can't showcase it? But I can come to you now and tell you that I'm very good at media strategy. You won't look at me and say, oh, she's just a TV presenter and producer. But I have evidence that I'm a media strategist. I have evidence that I've been able to carry out media strategies on various platforms across various levels, locally, nationally, and globally. The same way, and this is an opportunity because you're on a global platform, meaning that you can come and say, please, may I volunteer? This is a good place to volunteer. This is a community. You can see the loopholes of what they need. When you see loopholes in things, it means that you probably were called for such a dimension. So you need to say, excuse me, I'm very good at this, but I can only give 1 hour a week, but I want to come in as this. This is what I love doing. And you give it your all like you're being paid for it. So when you come to me next year, you can say, for a year, I was A to Z for Phoenix Gates. That way, you have an experience that people want to pay for. So as you graduate in that place, you become an expert. You become good at it. It's not just theory that I went to, for instance, a community, I did something, I entered and I have no experience at all. Even while you're trying, you see people in data analysis now, they tell you not only train, they give you proper data sets that you can use. They give you things that you can build, real life projects. So number one, you after doing all that and deciding, okay, my mindset is right, and you've seen, okay, this is my goal, this is what I want to become. You want to also say that I'm an expert at what I'm doing. Does that mean that, expert, you must be there for maybe 23 years or 24 years like I am? Not necessarily so. But if someone posts, for instance, or someone speaks, after a while, when you read the content, you can tell if this person really has content. You can tell if this person has authority in what they are saying. Of course, part of it is also speaking and writing what you're writing with confidence and ensuring that you yourself can be showcased through what you're saying. Why I'm saying that is, whether you like it or not, sometimes you go out for opportunities. You reach out and you send a message, for instance, and I always tell people, don't be afraid to reach out to those who are in the leadership, especially if you know what you're doing. So you're reaching out to the GMs, you're reaching out to the hiring managers, and not only just full-time employment, you are looking at projects. You know why I love projects and probably not necessarily a full-time thing constantly? Because for projects, I can have multiple projects that are going well and I'm doing them well according to whatever it is that you're doing. So as I am now, if you check my profile, I'm also, a developmental partner for 54 Siblings. I mentioned it, which is an NGO based in America, and I'm in charge of Africa and the Caribbean. I'm doing that. Yes, I'm still doing my media. I'm doing that. I'm still writing projects and coming up with events for other people. That's why I love projects. That means I don't have to be full-time. Now, would you also have to be that? You might not start that way. You don't have to start that way. You don't have to start because someone else is doing projects everywhere. You have to know what your capacity is. I know what I can do. I have the people I can reach out to say, you know what, do this budget for me. And the budget is ready. I just look at it and edit it and say, okay, I need this change and that. You might not be at that point yet. So you also have to look at your capacity. What's your capacity? Who are you looking at? Who is your mentor? Who are you looking at to even say, okay, if this person can do this, how did they do it? So you know what? I know that a lot of people, we like going around circles, not deliberately, but you just feel as if, please, I can do it. I mean, if they can do it, I can do it. And you have no information. Then you find yourself going around that circle for 2-3 years. I like to be part of communities. I've always loved and I've always been part of communities. Why? Because there is such a thing as quality in it. There are people in it that you can glean from. So if you want to get to another level, you need to glean from it. Ask questions, reach out to people who can help, whether it's paid, reach out. I just, as I said I even went for a grant class. I pay when I have to. Right now I'm doing another media course. In fact, the person was asking me, what exactly don't you know? I said, don't worry, I know what I'm looking for. This is 2025. Even if the 20 things on the curriculum I know, there might be one thing that you will mention that will be outstanding. Of course, the person now said, oh boy, I want you to help us teach. I said, no problem. But I'm still going to find what is new in it that I probably don't know. So educating yourself. Now, educating yourself is not just one. Now, I'm not saying just haphazardly learn everything, but you are looking to work with people in other countries. You have not looked at courses that will look at, for instance, cultural differences. Do you know that some countries you can't point with your right hand? Even though in Africa, where we come from, right is important. They'll tell you, don't point your left, don't point your left. There are some countries you go to, if you point your left, your right, you are bringing back a horrible part of their history that they don't want to remember. So you want to look at courses like that. You want to not just go for a course, but also look at, okay, I want to work in Kenya. You can't even say simple asante. You can't say anything. I remember someone reached out to me, and when I was done and I just mentioned a sentence that I learned deliberately for that meeting, she was like, oh my God, you beat me to it. I should learn your language. I definitely want to work with you. Why? Because I am conscious of the fact that I can't be like every other person. You need to have a value proposition that will show people that you're different. If I come to you and I ask you, oh, there are virtual assistants everywhere. You know, just like you hear, there are makeup artists everywhere, there are event planners everywhere. And someone comes to you and says there are virtual assistants everywhere. You need to be able to tell me why you're different. You need to be able to tell me why you are tailored to the people who are the CEOs, who are the founders, who have big companies and no time. Not like every other person. Like I come to you now, like when I was getting hostesses when I was in university, I don't know how I thought about it. I just thought to tell them it's very stressful when it comes to hostesses. Number one, you have to get them out. You have to train them. You have to make sure you're choosing the right people who will not be going after people's husbands, because it was a huge concern during those days. And I said, but I will take that pressure off you. Number one, I train the hostesses. I get the right people. I get the right height. I get their outfits. Number two, they ensure that they don't get cards from anyone. If anybody gives them cards, they submit to me. You know, so I'm taking it immediately. You're looking at what my problem is. It's the same way where someone gets a message across to you and says, hi. They are waiting for you to say hello. How are you? Then you say, fine, thank you. Number one, you're not even serious. I might answer you and say, hi, hello. But it just shows that you're not serious because you don't value your own time and the person's time. It's the little things that says if you are serious or not. But you send me a message, hi, I saw what you're doing. I like what you're doing. You do this and that. And this is what I bring to the table. I really appreciate what I saw and I'm learning, you know. I'm like, wow, there's some, in fact, there was someone I gave my WhatsApp number. I don't know her from anywhere, but from what she wrote, I gave her my WhatsApp number and I committed myself. I will add you to some groups that they can invite you when they're doing things. Why? Because she didn't go and tell me, hi, hello, how are you now? What are you working on? Things like that. I'm like, my brother, my sister, I don't have time. I need time to even think. There's family, there's projects. So you need to articulate things well. Let people know that you know what they're doing. Let people know that you appreciate their time. And you know that most people who are high up are particular about their time. Number two, I said number two. In fact, I'm giving so many points already. But in the same order, I would say that if you're looking at projects that really will pay you well, do you have everything it takes? It's not them. I'm not the one that will tell you use Buffer. Use Canva. Like I mentioned that I think from January I was buying up arts in Nigeria, you know, to be showcased abroad, and I started reaching out to artists and sending them things. People were making their money in dollars and were paying. And I reached out to someone and said, fill this form and do this. And then the person says, oh, so how do I do it? But because I have the Holy Spirit, because the entrepreneur was about to say, excuse you, but I just felt, let me look at the age. And I said, please use Canva. And then he said, how do I I said, ask Google. That was a nice response. A lot of people will not answer you. It's better you go and find out immediately. There's ChatGPT there. There are other platforms. Look for it now. Learn it, so that when I speak to you, in fact, school me, so that I'm like, well, this is what I want you to do. Oh, thank you so much. This is how the method I have in place. This is the strategy that is in place. That way I'm confident that, wow, I never heard of that. That's really good. That's good. So what would that take? And you tell me,
If you can hear Ma'am Heavens, please just write HH. So just we're gonna get comfortable with using some certain keywords, right? When we come for our live events. If you can hear Ma'am allow me Heavens, I don't think I can see her. I don't think I can see her on the live chat. But then if you can hear her, I'm just hoping it's not mine, because this is the first time I'm experiencing this from my own end. But I think she has gone out. Okay, so I'm going to probably be adding a few thoughts in the direction of everything she has been saying so far. So we're saying it over and over again. I would go from when she talked about volunteering. What people don't understand is this, like I would always emphasize here. Volunteering is your opportunity to build your portfolio, right? So imagine not volunteering, but then someone asks, if eventually a job opportunity comes, and then people are asking you, okay, can you tell me what you have done so far? And literally all you can say is, okay, someone, but I'm gonna try. You know that it's gonna be very, it's gonna give up this vibe. Sincerely, I'm gonna tell you from my own heart of heart. I'd rather not work with somebody who has never done it before than working with somebody who probably, and guess what? It's not written on the face, right? If you volunteered and you were not paid, nobody will know. I mean, how would they know? This is me going back to memes, right? I mean, who's gonna know that you probably volunteered and you were not paid? The question is, the job role relevant to what the person is seeking for? And if the person says yes, of course, if you volunteer, be metrics about your volunteering. You know, some people are super think that they can be smart, right? I mean, you say you're volunteering, but then you disappear, and then you can't. When they ask you, okay, you were volunteering for this thing for this number of years, what were you able to do? So everybody knows that now. Living. So if you are on a volunteering team, I'm still saying it by extension, everybody who is currently on the in the bootcamp volunteers, one of the things I want to say is be very sensitive to your metrics. Be very sensitive. So let's say probably yours is virtual assisting, and you're able to maybe let's say get, of course, now, because a lot of handling of our events right now, getting the numbers of volunteers, ensuring people register. You can see when you came on board, okay, let's say Phoenix Gate used to have an average of, let's say, 300 registered participants, but when I came on board, I was able to double it to about 2,000. I mean, any person who is hiring, if the person hears that, the next is, okay, now how do I even start curating events, since I know that this actually coming on board has that expertise? Again, when you are volunteering, always ask the house. Like for the first meeting we had with the volunteers, one of the things I told them was this: I had done a lot of things. I wanted reproducibility. So that when I'm telling you to do anything, a shell thing that you're going to do that is outside the box, right? So that is essentially part of the things we're also preaching tonight. Pay attention to your whatever it. If you say that this is what you want to do at time T, please pay attention to it because it's ready, resume worthy, and nobody will employ you. I mean, nobody. It's going to be see, the truth is, I'm going to say it, this is not actually me being biased. I'll say it again. If people employ you and you don't know how to do something, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I don't know anybody who want to consistently work with somebody who is stressing the person. So imagine that every single time your boss will have to be screaming. You just be in their shoes, be a top tier CEO, and then every single time the person you made your assistant is consistently not producing results. In this case, you're going to have every single time that you are offering, like I told you guys when we started this event, every single time you have an opportunity to take or give, ask if you were on the receiving side, do you think this is worthy enough? And then when you write, because the truth is, when you write all those things, eventually persons are going to write recommendations for you. They see those summaries, let's say, of course, for clients and then high ticket clients, most times, I'll say it again, most times they call all these people that you said, ask them, supposing you're an AWOL person, or even your boss cannot remember you, or your direct supervisor doesn't even know you, and then you wrote the person's name there and you put the person's email. So you and then most times, most of these people who get this top high ticket opportunities, they might call at random days. So in that you might have applied last year, this year, that this site to call through to the person you said you worked with, and the person is saying, I can't remember. That is where the challenge is. Maybe that's the reason why some of us have not even started maybe earning in the millions of dollars, right? But then I'm hoping that a lot of us are actually paying attention. Okay, so I think she is back. Let me add her up quickly. So I want to see comment section. I don't know. I'm not seeing much of the conversations. Okay. Oh, Mary D's. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for with that. So I'm going to take a moment to add help. Like I said, I updated my studio, so I think maybe because of the increased requirements, maybe the quality requires super high, so it's making page very responsive. But then that's what I want. I didn't want. Last week was a bit blurry, so I didn't want that. So thank you so much, Maya. Welcome. Everyone. I think the network threw you out, and I think it was almost the same thing at this end. Okay, awesome. Please, have the mic.
My apologies, everyone. Yes. Okay, so I was saying, even though I don't remember where, I don't know where I was cut out, but part of what I was also mentioning, you were talking about, and I mentioned that sometimes the problem also is you might pass everything in terms of what you have written. Everybody's seeing your content is fantastic, but once you start shooting for high ticket opportunities, there's no time that they're not going to speak to you. And I realized that there are some people that just, it's as if they have a PhD in shooting themselves in the foot. And honestly, something can be done about it. Just like I said, that having an honest conversation with yourself, you know, and people, and I love it that people within this community are like sponge. They learn, they look for opportunities, they take it up, they keep learning. Why I said that is, even on this platform, I've had opportunities to train people in terms of speaking, you know, speaking, presenting themselves, moderating, those kind of things, because it helps. There's a level of confidence. And I mentioned, I think one of those days that I was speaking, I said, I'm not a psychologist, but because of the things that I've done, I've had to learn a lot of things. And for some people, I realize that they are inhibitors in the way. And sometimes I have to deal with that first before they get to a point where they can stand in front of people and speak. Because someone calls you and you're very fantastic on paper, you're aiming for a high ticket opportunity, high ticket project, and they speak to you and you don't sound like it. There is a sounding like it. There is a positioning of yourself as an expert, knowing that this thing I wrote is not just about writing it and knowing all the strategies. It's about communicating it effectively in a way where they think, oh, she's one of us. She speaks our language. But when you don't, it feels like maybe someone wrote the paper for her and she doesn't know what she's doing. So you need to build yourself all around, not just the information, the confidence to follow through. so that they don't send you a message to call them. You are now afraid. How do I do it? They're going to meet me on Zoom. Then you get on Zoom with someone who wants to give you a high ticket. You don't put on your camera. I'm like, there's some things that don't work. You have to think through the process first. Someone wants to speak to you from, for instance, US, wherever it is in the world, even Ghana. You don't plan to be on camera. If it was a meeting, will you be anyhow? If you were going to walk into the office. But because it's virtual, if you can't manage the virtual meeting before that person, then you're not going to be able to manage everything well. Or you give them the excuse, oh my God, I didn't know the time difference. How? For years, I had the opportunity, and it wasn't even work, it was ministry. I was ministering across Canada for over 3 years. And so it meant that every time they called me, I was ministering from Nigeria at 2 a.m. to about 5 a.m. in the morning. There was no excuse of, oh, I slept off by mistake. You are not ready. Because the question I ask myself is, if I was going to be paid for this ministration, would I get up? If I will get up, then I can get up for proper work. Do you understand? So you need to find out. And there was something Pastor, I said, in fact, I've told you Pastor already. There was something Dr. Vivian said about having precise numbers. That's why you see people say, oh, I have personally trained 5,000. I have increased, productivity for so and so percentage of people by 200%. I have trained so amount of people, and 99% have retained or been able to use this to do this and that. If you can't do that, then why am I coming to you? I will go to the major person that I think has the thing. And then please forget all those don't toot your horn. I'm not saying be boastful, but remember the things you have accomplished and say them. They might not be the exact thing you're working on, but how do they align with this project? Have I ever bought art before? No. Commercially, no. But I'm a lover of art. I used to paint when I was little. I have people, I have opportunities, I have access to pools of thousands and thousands of people in different nations. And so when I tell you that I can reach out to them, I can. And I've proven that. So now they can say, okay, you've done this $5,000. There's a next stage. This is the amount we need to do. They won't do that if I'm not able to showcase that it's possible. Then they can call me and I tell them, this idea is great, but this will be a better idea. And this is why it's a better idea. And they're like, wow, I get it a lot. We'll go with your idea. We'll go with your idea. That's what it should be. So be confident in yourself. Know what value proposition you're giving. Be sure of where you want to go. Find people who are mentors to help you. If you have to pay, pay. Don't be one of those people. People reach out sometimes and tell you, well, I can't because, I tell people that I've done thousands of things free, as in thousands of people that are everywhere that can say this person is Canada, this person in UK. I have reviews. So when you come to me, except there's some reason, I'm like, okay, if I as a person can still pay other people all over the world, why won't you look for a way? I would rather respect someone who says, oh, can I make part payments? Can I pay in so installments? It shows that you are serious. The person might even tell you, you know what, okay, what about start paying? You get to 80% and the person says, okay, we can do it now. Don't worry about the rest. Because it shows that you are pushing. And the person knows that you tried your best. So it's possible that they're even saying there's even an opportunity you fit for. Go there. Why run round in circles when some people can help you? So I would tell you that there's no magic in getting high ticket. The magic in it is preparing for it and becoming it. The same way when you ask people, who do you want to get married to? They'll tell you kind, handsome, rich. Someone asked a question when I was in university, said, are you all these things that you have put down? And everywhere went silent. Are you all these things? So you need to ask yourself as you are going for these things, that am I a product that is high ticket? Can I honestly say so, pardon me. If you're not, what can I do to get there? And start doing it. And it's a long-term thing. You might not get there next 2 months. Some people are going to make it this week. Some people next week. Some people in the next 6 months. But if you're not there yet, quickly hit your wagon somewhere that will help you to propel faster. And then say, maybe before the end of this month, this is what I want to reach. The same way you're thinking $1 million. I hope you're thinking it. You're thinking $1 million and then you're calculating how many people, how much product will take me to that. That's the same way you need to calculate in the next 1 year, in the next 2 years. What can I do? What can I volunteer that will make a lot of sense. And I've seen people transform, even on this platform. They come for clarity calls, and I'm like, wow, wow. And they send me messages. Oh, I'm now doing this in Cameroon. I'm now doing. So for me, the pleasure is seeing you work and then tell me that I've increased it now. I'm getting this. I have a $5,000 project. And it's possible. Even if the person teaching you has not gotten to $1 million, you can, by working on that and going through the process. So I'm going to tell you, start today. Stop dreaming. Dreaming is good. It's okay. You have dreamt all your life. Start walking those steps to make those dreams come true. Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm literally screaming, right? I was actually trying to think so far on conversations, very interesting things. I mean, super interesting. Okay, I would want to say, please let's go ahead and celebrate her, and somebody should please highlight her name as well, so that as many of us who would want to connect immediately with her to join and see how she can help serve you. Like I said, I was also a part of this call session, and it was mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. So part of things I would also say again is, when you are volunteering, like he said, once you see the gap, find a way to come up with a proposition. Some of us very good. Oh, I saw a challenge. I mean, I most times some of you might even start up conversations from that. I don't even reply, because the question is, if you step out, you will know. Okay, so when you see people coming out, everything they are post, you don't actually know what it takes for them to come out there. But if you are an expert in whatever it is that you've decided to offer, part of the things you're going to first do is to literally say, okay, yes, I have seen that you have done this so far, which is absolutely excellent. But then I noticed this gap. Okay, I have noticed gap 1, 2, 3. Now, gap 3 might not be super clear for me based on what I've done so far, but I know 1 and 2, like I know the back of my palm, and I'm going to procure this, and this opportunities. I'm going to tell you how you can get this over and done with. Of course, I don't know how people can get when they start. Of course, if you partner, let's say a marketer partners with the Phoenix Gate, and all of a sudden we start seeing more persons. I mean, we go from, let's say, an average of 100 in the boot camp to, let's say, we now start getting 1,000 persons, and the person was volunteering. Is only a very greedy person. Literally, the person must really be greedy. And guess what? Prosperity doesn't come that way, right? To see that a door was opened and you don't sow your seed in that direction. Okay, so some of the times where some of these people you're volunteering to don't take you serious, because even you're not serious. You don't even bring anything to the table, like we always say. But then any spot you say, I volunteered for 5 years and nobody paid me anything. The conversation should not be, I volunteered for 5 years. The conversation should be, I have, guess what? When I was working with, let's say, let me use the Phoenix Gate. When I was working with the Phoenix Gate, I was able to double. I mean, they went from 250 participants to like 5,000 every week. I and the team, we pulled this off. Guys, I can do this anywhere else. I know probably I was not paid commensurate to what I was doing there, but I believe that now I have the confidence. I think that's one beautiful thing she shared. Becoming the person, becoming high ticket. Some of you are still low ticket, because even to yourself, you don't even know what investment you should make upon yourself. When you're seeing opportunities, you look down on yourself. I mean, you rather buy than to pay for a course, and look at the end of the year and you're praying, Lord, last minute miracle, but you ate your seed. So when you are hearing in your spiritual place, it's about seed. It's not just in your spirit. I had to sit down and figure out is this. So if you don't spread your seeds, you know how the Ecclesiastes was saying, sow to one, and then know which one may germinate. Literally, it means that even as a very spiritual person, you should pay attention to. Some people will say carnality, you're still trekking, and I'm not going to lie about it. It's not bad, you're exercising, which is still I'm still an advocate of healthy living, right? But then this is exactly what I am saying right now. You must know when to separate, close your eyes and separate it, especially when you meet people that are willing to give their life. I think I saw somebody on the comment section who was saying something that sometimes you actually don't pay for courses, you pay to enter a particular relational circle, right? Because you have seen something on for and you decide to want to be part. Literally, when it comes to getting jobs, of course, and life events, anybody who meets me, I during last week, I think it was on Monday, I was even having a discussion back and forth on what somebody should be paid. The person might not have even known me from anywhere, but I was able to probably have that transaction on that person's behalf. And I'm pretty sure that at the end of that conversation, that person had already decided what he wanted to pay that person simply because the person came into contact with me. And that's exactly what we are saying. We're talking about a circle of persons who are literally pushing. You can't do LinkedIn alone. That's how it works. You can't. And then a lot of people are talking about globalization, global. It can't get as, I don't know how to explain this now. Global. I don't know that you can't put the internet outside globalization. You cannot. For you to boycott the internet is like saying, well, I don't want to say negative that literally the whole world would open your roof and come in that way. So we said again, we did an exercise last week. I think we're going to do an exercise again for the people who are currently on live with us. Please, you're going to help us. Just let us know so far the persons who have joined, been here so far. So we have SF. So you're Nigeria. So if you're joining from Nigeria, just write SF Nigeria, SF Ghana, SF. So far. And then I would want to say thank you so much again. So this is me focusing right back to our speaker of the hour. Thank you so much, Ma, for giving us that. I mean, you cannot be who you want. You can't charge who you're not. That's one thing I keep saying. So it's possible that okay, the first few master classes that Venice Gate has run, right? And then which other thing have we done? Okay, our boot camps. We did our global visibility challenge, and we did our boot camp. This is our third boot camp again. Part of the things we can actually sit down and say, oh, all the monies that came in is for shawarma. We'll just go and display it and eat. In fact, we can even buy a car. Yes, we can decide to buy cars. But then, of course, if you come on this live event and I'm telling people, sorry, it's from where I'm coming from. In fact, this network people, these network people, please, so we are sorry, oh, people joining us all over the world. Now I'm trying to poke some people because I know they are currently on this live. You're joining us all over the world. We're very sorry. It's like my eyes. I cannot see my eyes, my nose. Oh, sorry, my background is disappearing. No, this was not what I planned. Okay, so this is time for everybody to laugh because a lot of people do this a lot, but you are already doing something to your brand. Because if at the end of that day, you now start saying, okay, come and join our bootcamp, like, okay, this madam probably when it's time for our class, she'll soon say that the class where she's staying, there's no light, so we cannot have it. So you are not when you cannot, if you know the investments we've done, hey, I'll still say it again in this life, right? You cannot be beyond your giving. And you know, most times when we say that, we say it's more in those spiritual circles. But I've told you the truth. When it comes to your career, the reason why you have not gone up the ladder as well, and your businesses, you are not giving what it takes. You're scared to invest change. For me, I'm not money. We so simming in, we know where it's going to. Sometimes I do that deliberately. As money to just come in like this, I'll just do fiam, so that I will still be up and running. Okay, yes, things I need to do for this. That's why literally every week, some of you who are coming back to back, for those people who are copying, as you're trying to copy my idea last week. I'm ready when I'm coming out the new week. I'm already coming up with something because that's what giving does to you, right? When you give, literally the gates of ideations are open to you. When you pay, sometimes some of you, like I said, there were people who joined our classes. In fact, some of them are doing far better than we have done so far. And it's not, like I'll say, it's not something to be scared about. It's something to be proud about, that you can produce a seed that can take over the world. And that's exactly what the Phoenix Gate essentially is all about. For me, I think from next month already, we're already coming up with courses. I mean, we're going to train per courses even while we run our boot camp. Monetization will be like our mainstay, but then we're going to run courses so that we're going to have several experts in the community come teach. Of course, we'll run some form of collaboration with those experts. We're going to probably open up registrations maybe across 3 months, across 8 months, or no, maybe let's say 3 months, across 2 months, across 1 month, depending, so that we have more participants. Once we get a particular number, we and the teachers can collaborate on a certain amount. They teach people, we certify people. I mean, we're talking about extending it to like board certified, yes, examinations, literally, for the Phoenix Kids Group. That is where we are going to. Like we said, we're also to have a physical outlet where people can just come in and just have their meetings as well, grow their career as well as their businesses as well. So I'd want to thank you so much, DM, for coming on board. Your ex I would always say it again. Maybe I'll take. I remember the first day I saw her speak on the mic, I was like, my goodness. So having her, in fact, the first, I think, I'm not sure whether it was the first week, right? I think she wanted to join the Global Visibility Challenge. I said, I don't know if she I was like, I'm not sure she can do it. Oh, I was not, because I was scared. When she said, I'm interested, I was, no, this is me. You probably didn't know. I hid all this from you. But I was literally scared when I saw, because then, of course, everybody who knows me is I'm a very good, dare not make mistake to let any idea cross my heart. If it does, I'll just go out with it. So then I had just even started out on LinkedIn. I mean, I had returned with on LinkedIn with like 600, and then maybe a few. I think after a month or so, I just decided that, man, I'm gonna start this. And to have people on board, I was like, does she even know? But then consistency, excellence. I mean, go getter, implementer, literally everything. There are some people who when you see them, you know that they are the embodiment of the Phoenix Gate. I'd want to say thank you so much, ma. Literally, when we had Phoenix Gate in mind, we had you in mind, because we wanted to be able to see people who will stand out as you are. And I will say thank you so much for all you have been doing for us, everything, all the support. Really, really, really appreciate you. And then if you'd like to be a part of the boot camp, so maybe this is our own thank you time. If you have the time, I know you don't have much time, but if you do, you can as well just bring you on board as well. So I'll say thank you so much, opportunity to have you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to give another opportunity to everybody who is currently live on this event. If you're a part of the boot camp, just write BC, 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 so that I know that the next few conversations we're going to be having now, like we said, we keep to our time. Once it's time. So somebody's saying, what is mass? You know that Africans can be super dramatic. So you're going to be getting, what I just meant is, we said on the dot, we're going to stop. Either we stop before 8 or we stop at 8 on the dot. So don't move away from this place. Just sit still, hanging with us. So I'm going to ask again. If you're currently here and I told the camp students that they should not miss this live. Still, our live event, we're not looking. We look like we're less than half of last week. This is the first time I'm actually looking at people as we do. Normally, I don't bother. I just come and I vibrate. And after the event, I come back and look. But now I think I'm catching all those people who come, start deleting some of these events so that people can find us on YouTube as well. So please, if you're looking for us on YouTube, we have the Phoenix Gate YouTube, but for now, because I already had started growing Dr. Vivian, upskilling with Dr. Money, I decided that, okay, yes, we could just, since the name is still in keeping with the spirit of Phoenix Gate, I noticed that most times brands on all platforms don't do so well. So if you are here and you're probably trying to grow your business account, it's usually super tough. It's easier to grow a personal account because of the whole ideation around a personal brand. Everybody will want to know founders before they get to what they are doing. So I don't know, business accounts always give them this anxiety of buying or something. I don't know, but I've just noticed it on all social media platforms. It's usually super tough to grow a business account than to grow a personal. So we want to put our energy on the personal. Once we pivot to a certain level, we go right back to growing us. By then, would have already been sending out traffic as well in that direction. So I'm going to say again, if you're on this live and you can hear me loud and clear, right, and you are in the boot camp, please just write BC so that I know him with. Okay, awesome. So I've seen. Okay, awesome. Okay, awesome. Oh, that's lovely. Awesome. Sharon, good to meet. Good to see you. You're from all the way from K and Mary. Like I said, we chose a higher resolution today. Life is so heavy on the life. So even to light some of your conversations is gonna be well. So most of this week, maybe I'm gonna use it as well for the training so that we can exercise the studio more. I don't know, maybe because this is the first time. But then, okay, I can see. Oh, Nolly, please, if you are BC, that means you're a camper and you're yet to join the camp. You're yet to be in the camp where everybody is. That's a general camp. You must see a monetization boot camp general, because we, like we said, we had different platform because our courses are going to be taken across different platforms. So our classes will be separately. Of course, first week this will be a general class. Everybody will come, but then as we span, the people who are for visibility and for volunteering can go on. But then we still have an opportunity to still continue teaching for the Sapphire group, and then we'll focus more on the gold group. So if you're here and you're still trying to find a way to start your YouTube journey, please, it's the gold you're supposed to go for. It's the gold one that you're supposed to go for. So we still give some time. Maybe we'll give between now and 12 in by midnight. Between now and 12 by midnight, we will give you an opportunity to register. Once it's 12 midnight, we'll deactivate all the links so that because we don't want people to get into the link afterwards. We really went through a lot, having people who joined halfway in the last one. I mean, it was super exhausting for me. I've never seen anything like that before. In fact, it was super exhausting that we had to have a daily class every single day. So for me, I don't think I would want to go through that, because like we said, as the community is growing, I would want to have more time with the volunteers. The volunteers will be running the events now and a lot more other things, so that I'll be able to also give my best to the people who have joined the camp as well. So far, I would want to say that I am also excited to meet everybody. Okay, so one of the first few things we're going to pay attention to for the boot campers, please, like we said, the volunteers, that's the diamond group. If you don't show up on any day of the camp, you're out. So this is us probably just breaking down the ground the ground rules of the camp. I mean, the first person who paid for the camp, I think she was one of the first persons who paid for this camp, probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, right? She just paid for the place. Like, okay, she might not have as much time, but she was waiting on it. Like me, I would say it again. Our community is positioned in such a way to accommodate all tiers of age. So she's an excellent grandma. So one of the things that came up is that there is already a good news now that might stall, and she had to relate with me immediately. So we found a way to make sure that she's able to still coming, right? Of course, because she actually paid for private, so that might not me saying again. For the diamond group, right, we will not accept passive people. We're still going to take our roll call for the people who showed up today. The diamond group, I mean, if you miss, you don't post in a day, you just go out. Already, I'll post a first post for the day. I'm sure all of you have already seen it. For those, I had already sent an email. Once you print out the flyer, you're already ready for your day one, right? So our day one, our camp rules are this: 6 a.m. as much as possible, right? I understand that there are people who are in the nursing mother group. I am also a nursing mom for people currently. So that's why usually in the morning, if you ask me from my heart of hearts, the best time to post, if I was a single and I didn't really have anybody to put me on, what do they call it? If I really didn't, of course, with the volunteers now, definitely have somebody who would, I can always send my contents to and share my details as well, who can be engaging. Because like I said, if you post and you ghost, just forget about it. Okay, so this is me again sharing as regards for if you're just joining LinkedIn for the first time, I'll just probably just consider this as a bonus to you, right? You are not in the boot camp, but you're going to hear this because I literally have to share this for everybody who is currently on the camp. Please, if you're in the camp, just know this: if you don't post before 6 a.m., right, you are, especially for people in the West African time zone, GMT+1, GMT+2, GMT+2, yes, give and take. If you don't post literally at around this time, The goal is to have people wake up to your voice everywhere, literally. So if you're thinking that you're a very spiritual person, please wake up earlier. For me, some nights I don't even sleep. Yes, I don't. Some of you know. Sometimes by 4 a.m. I'm awake. 4, 3 I'm awake. I'm doing other things, of course. Like I would want to make sure that all of you are having excellent experience. I cannot come and I'm giving excuses, right, on why something is happening or the other thing is happening. I just have to make sure that I show you all the picture of what I preach. So I literally spent protected time stretching, right? So we said again, our agreed time for posting is 6 a.m. For the sake of the first week, we will be locking the group. Once it's 8 a.m. in the morning, please, guys, it's a boot camp. So please, just in case you think that I'm sounding a little bit tough, just type boot camp. Just I can remember saying this to the last camp. Just type boot camp on your phone, right? Just type bootcamp. You just see what a bootcamp is, right? So these are our ground rules. Between 6 and 8, once it's 8 o'clock, we'll lock the group so that we don't want people saying that okay, they can just wake up at any time and just drop posts. No, the goal is in our commitments. Now we're gonna have a day. I'll consider that day one day in the week where we're going to do like a fast, like a social media. Now it's not outside fast. In fast, it means that day on LinkedIn, just so that we're able to try some of these things that we've been telling you about. That day we're going to find the way. Whatever we do, just be on LinkedIn. Just try and go around to our second and third degree connections. Understand all this story. We still have a class tomorrow, right? But we set up day one's already up. Once you download that the flyer, you can just say something to announce, of course, that I'm going to be starting this journey, this because it's a monetization bootcamp. I did not say I am selling a course. Please don't start writing that I'm selling a course. I beg you, that's not what you're going to do. You're going to just say I'm happy to announce that I'm about to take on this journey to do this and this and this, and here are the few things you might want to know that I do. That just introduce yourself, announce that you're starting this journey. Don't just stop at 3 lines, then you post. No, we have already started our strategy. For some people who don't know, please pay attention. This is also part of the strategy, because in your first day, you're somehow also telling people what you do. And usually the first post usually do very well. I mean, when it's your first time, if it's your first ever time on LinkedIn, because I know that I have a lot of friends who are like that, because I went into my community. For some of you who don't know, I'm a public health master student. So I went into my group and I woke some of my group members up, because I noticed that literally almost all of them, nobody is building their personal brand, and you are a public health personnel. I'm like, public, but you're not public. You're public health, but you're not public. So this is a part of things we're also going to do. So we said in a day, part of things we're going to do is in a week we're going to have a day when we're literally going to be around. We're going to go to town, like no matter what we do, even if it's at work, we're going to stay on LinkedIn where we're coming up with ideas. Like I said, if you're already part of this camp, if you need to get a virtual assistant, please reach out to me, because we're not going to take no for an answer. Because I said it again, every metrics you get, that's how I see things. I will not just collect your money and just relax. No, every metrics you get is my metrics as well, because that's part of my portfolio. So when we're discussing our last week's our last camp, when we're talking about 2,000 times, so then I charged, was it like, I think I charged her was 20,000, and she made 2,000 times of 20,000. Just calculate that. That's literally in the maybe 40 million or thereabouts. That's 40 million from just being able to implement some of the things we had discussed about. So I said, oh, why not? If one person could utilize this and make this much, I wanted to make it stay, because I wanted us to now focus on monetization. So we have started our ground rule. The first thing I said about we're coming out 6 a.m. Everybody, if you're a nursing mom, please reach out to me so that we can come up with something. If you need to get a virtual assistant, it will be good, right? We can get some of the volunteers to work with you, right? Just for the season of this boot camp. But then you have to find ways to also come up with of course, if you've never earned before, the goal is to do it yourself. And that's exactly what I do. Sometimes while we're beating the kids, I'm doing what I can do, right? But then I'll say it again on LinkedIn. If you're just new on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is not where you post and ghost, right? You can't post and ghost. thank God for YouTube and a few other places where the algorithm literally moves the posts for you. So all those other places where I'm building, I mean TikTok and a few other places, all you have to do is just post and ghost. But on LinkedIn, you can't do that if you need to grow on LinkedIn. See, guys, the reason why we're emphasizing growing on LinkedIn, I mean, try sponsored ad. I did a sponsored ad for this what did you call it, for this event as well, not for this event, for the boot camp as well. And only the people in the camp, I'll tell you guys what happened so that you know why building, so you know why building on. Okay, give me a moment, please. This is we're still just talking about the camp. Please, if you can hear me, just write hear me. HM. If you can hear me, just write HM so that I know. And oh my goodness, my icon is not even there. Okay, so since we're already talking about the bootcamp, let me just go on ahead. So if you try doing a sponsored ad, you will know what LinkedIn is what, and then you understand what your personal brand really is. So every single time, for those people who missed out on our events in the first months, please go ahead and look at that again. But for everybody who is in the what did you call it, the bootcamp, part of the things we're going to do, that's for group sapphire and group gold. I'm going to sit down, literally everybody who is going to be, don't miss your classes. That's all I can tell you. Don't miss your classes. If you miss your classes, the boot camp will just pass and you will have nothing to show for it. And I'm not hiding my mouth. I'm literally telling you what will happen so that you don't feel like every other person came and made money and then you didn't make. Now, this is part of the things I'm also going to talk about. I'm going to tell you some of the things that happened when I had to do that. Of course, I'm going to do a lot of sponsored ad even for the next one already, because part of the thing is to also start publicity from now. So I'll teach you guys all that. I will also tell you some of my experiences and why paying attention to your personal brand will save you a whole lot of things. So some of you are seeing it as spending a whole lot of time on LinkedIn. But when it comes to the monetary effect of your visibility, you cannot underemphasize. Okay, you cannot downplay the monetary what's the word, the monetary value of your visibility. So I'll say it again, visibility is currency. So this is me already introducing the camp. So I'm hoping that all the campers are here, because I will not, of course, repeat some of these things that we're already talking about again. Okay, thank you so much for all those people, all the persons who wrote HM. I am back. Thank you so much for your patience as well, but I'm grateful that I was able to hold down the conversation. Okay, so this is it again. I'll still say it again. Part of the things you need to do for yourself is to make sure that you are available on all the classes. We're literally going to walk you. I'm going to call names. Like I will call names. I will walk you through zero. Right. Thank God we're already able to discuss how a few things around financial planning, which was already part of the module, but having you say it, I mean, having some being accountable, saying it to everybody's hearing that this is how much you want to make by the end of day 21. We're going to all hear you so that you are now going to hold yourself accountable. Like we said, we're going to do a whole lot of metrics. The same way you write CVs, we are going to do metrics. So from day one. So I'm saying this now because by the time we're having our first class tomorrow, which is 6 p.m. GMT +1, I would want you to already prepare your mind. Part of the things is that I will just go over personal branding, go over your financial goals. I'm going to give a lot of persons. All you have to do is everybody on that live event, you're going to submit your financial goals to me. I'm going to see if you're still in a dilemma, like you're quite confused, you're not yet sure of what to offer. Come super early, right? I'm going to see if I can come up 30 minutes before the time so that we can as well just discuss. I'm going to find out ways where even if it's 10 people that are still not sure, if you're still not sure of what you want to offer on LinkedIn at all, just coming early. We're going to do like a mass discussion. Just remember, whatever you do, I can also have a one-on-one with you, right? Of course, if you want that, but this is not part of the package, right? When we did our masterclass, we did that for everybody who passed through our masterclass, but we can't do that now because, of course, LinkedIn, I said, what's the word? The Phoenix Gate is growing as well. And then financially, the what we charge was not for that. Like, I can't give you 1 hour of my time at that cost. I mean, the cost we charge you, the cost we charge is like 1/10 of what we probably should be charging based on what we have seen so far. I didn't mince word when I said I charged someone 20,000 naira and the person made 2,000 times more. I think that's actually even 40 million naira. So looking back, if you were me, how much should I have charged? Maybe I should have charged maybe a 10% of the future money. So even if I charged, let's say 400,000 for that, that wouldn't have still been enough. But guess what? We have said that, okay, because we're doing it for everybody, we're hoping that everybody will pay attention. People don't miss their classes. People should also stay in it. Okay. So now we have volunteers on board. So we're going to know people that are going to be mixing. Like we said, we're taking our attendance super seriously. For the members, gold team, for the diamond team, if you miss one day, would you just be out because you can't be volunteering and you're not available. So I said it again because I even left it, I made it super clear on the group. I told everybody in the group that you can actually defy your volunteering. If you think you're not available now, you can actually just wait, maybe when you're done with any other challenge that is drawing your additions. Now the goal about the Phoenix Gates challenge is that we wire this in such a way that it's not a second thought, because I give my life literally. And for me, is if I'm not in the hospital right now, okay, because I said that, okay, this is an opportunity. I'm not saying, okay, let me just build people based on the experiences I've had so far. I don't want to see that, okay, I expend so much energy, I make sure I bring down the costs, and then people who have the opportunity to leap in and now playing with it. I'll say it again. If you know you actually on an average day, courses like this, you would want to pay 100,000. Please, I said I have my account. I even have my Angel link, right? I have my Angel link. So if you just want to submit, what's the word? Partner with the Phoenix Gate to just say thank you, well done, right? You can as well pay that. Maybe that will help you get serious. But one of the things people don't know is that they want to have cheap. They want to have cheap, right? But that cheap, if you don't give from a place where, I don't know how to explain it now, if you don't give out something that will touch your heart, you won't take it seriously. So you now not taking, maybe you might feel like, okay, I can pay 10,000 rand. Oh, let me just pay it. Oh, I'm having a class by 6. Well, I'm not sure I'm going to be there. Because if you paid 1 million naira, definitely you even have your bat. Please, again, one of the rules again for the Phoenix Kids group is that we always try to be as visual as possible on all our meetings. So please prepare. Don't say, oh, you didn't tell me. Please prepare. I'm saying it again. Everything about the Phoenix Kids is we try, because we want to make sure that our events are in real time, like we're seeing ourselves. So I'll say it again. All our meetings, we try to turn on our videos, except maybe it's super tight for you, or you're in nursing mom, something came up abruptly, right? But please just know that if you're not turning on your videos, right, you are actually breaking a rule. We might not do anything, but then, of course, when you're going to ask questions or even tell us what you're doing so far, what your plans has been, because we'll literally have 2 meetings in a week. That introductory meeting is the one which we're going to have for everybody, so that it's going to be in-house. We don't want to share some of the ideas here, so that, of course, it gives you that honor of having paid and gives you that exclusivity. That's part of the things I also do as well on this live event. I make sure I don't spill out everything. It's not just about saying that I'm gatekeeping, is that I'm also bestowing the honor of the people who saw us and decided to partner with us, so that they can also feel, oh yes, it was an exclusive thing. So that's why I don't talk about anything. Even, in fact, there's a huge gap between the Sapphire and the Gold group, and it's still on purpose, because there's something that I have worked on severally. So some people are saying, Phoenix Goods, how are we doing this? How are we doing this? It's not a fluke. I've done so many things in other places, and I literally rode on that. I'm not trying anyhow. And then part of the things I'll also say is, every single time an ideation comes to me, I do it. It's better I fail forward. So I'm hoping that everybody who is here, please don't be saying that your camera is this, your phone is that, you cannot, your thumbnail is this, it's not fine, it's not. You are just literally going to step out, whether it's with your video or not your video. That's for people in the Gold camp. We will just step out and get things done. Okay, so we're done with that. Part of our course content for tomorrow is, we're going to talk about personal branding. We're going to talk about your financial goals. So we're mixing everything. The financial goal is essentially going to be more practical. So we're going to all the apps that we need to start probably taking out, depending on. So part of the things you're going to do in the group now, you can also just, if you have been doing, having doing any, if you've had any financial culture that you've always done so far, you might just want to say, okay, yes, hello everyone, I am this. So let's start our introduction and start our list of links so that I can put it now in the general group where we are, I think, over 1,000 plus, so that everybody know that, okay, yes, you guys are the fresh campers and who would also want to buy from you, get from you. So please check your mails, everybody. For those who did the direct transfer, I've had a little gap. Then for people who registered for the last camp who deferred, I have a huge gap with you because, like I said, our emails are super automated already. So what I did was I clicked send, and all the lists on my email list of people who had paid from the system that we had set up for Phoenix Kids, it just automatically just sent it to everybody. So please, if you did direct transfer, I'm saying this out again because I noticed that some people are agitated in that direction. If you did a direct transfer, just send me a DM now so that I can send you a copy of, or you can send me your email as well so that I can add you as well to the email list, because a lot of our classes are going to be coded, right? Because we don't want, like I said, I have the course content for all the different groups are all different, right? So that everybody would feel and know that we actually planned for them, right? Like we said, we stepped down the group so that nobody will say that they did not have money. That's why they were not able to join the bootcamp. So like I said, our content for tomorrow's class is we're doing personal branding, but the difference is it's more of a practical. So as soon as we come on live, just maybe 5-10 minutes of me explaining, because we've done all this in the Phoenix Kids. If you've missed any of our classes, just go to my event, check personal branding and all. This time around, we're going to sit down. It's a workbook. So you're going to come with your MacBook, anything at all that you use to document all your ideations. We're going to go through your brand story, everything, your brand. Okay. I'm not supposed to say everything here. Sorry, guys. For those people who are, see, that's why we have to have our events coded, right? Because it's now going to be individualized. So from tomorrow's event, you will literally go out and start positioning yourselves. There are so many practical. So everything essentially in the camp is going to be super practical, and it's going to be monetization, right? For those people, we're going to do the general content creation and storytelling frameworks, and of course all the frameworks there is to do. But then part of the things we're going to do also, I'm going to open another makeshift for some of my colleagues who joined. That's my public health specialist friends, because I've noticed that a lot of people don't know how to do health writing, right? I'm going to open up another space for us so that we can have something super specialized, especially for the people in the gold class. But that's essentially what we're going to do. Our first class is tomorrow, 6 p.m. GMT plus 1. Then, like we said, we're going to be coming out every day, 6 p.m. 6 a.m. GMT plus 1, right? And then we're going to be closing up the group. Our rules are pay attention to everybody who is in the camp, build relationships. So like we said, officially, we're going to be closing up every opportunity for people to join the camp by 12 midnight. By morning, all our accountability partners should be ready. Okay, so I'm going to apologize for that a little delay, because a lot of persons I noticed that fresher people usually come later. So I don't want to we didn't want to pair the fresh for the fresh. But then, of course, people for the next boot camp with our volunteers that are going to be working hand in hand with me right now, we're going to have a lot of things super automated in that direction. I don't know, is there any other thing? If you have any questions right now on this live, please go ahead and ask. Now the challenge, like I said, we upgraded our studio, so now we have aesthetics, but our functionality seemed to be a lot. So for those people whom I couldn't spotlight while you were conversing, I'll say it again, I didn't really plan that, right? My plan was to spotlight your conversations, but like I said, it's still loading. It's like a new house. So I'm hoping that maybe during the week it's going to be more excellent. And the danger is that we actually bought up for the whole month. Lord will help me. So I don't really even, I would have said, okay, maybe if I just maybe did 1 week, maybe next week we'll use another one. But right now we're kind of stuck with this for a month. But Like I said, we're going to do all our classes here, but we will not go live. We're going to be using the studio. So hopefully it will become smoother as we use it as well. So I would want to say again, thank you so much everybody for coming on board. I'm super excited. So if you have questions, I'm going to be looking in. Okay. Annie, did you do a direct transfer? If you didn't do a direct transfer, please what you will do is check your email, because we sent email to everybody. When you mean the main group, are you talking about the group where 1,000 plus people are? So you just give me that answer and then I'll go up. But then other than that, oh awesome, oh awesome. I'm just seeing our boot campers. Awesome, awesome. This is very beautiful. I'm so excited. So I'm hoping that we've already geared you up. So I said our first class is going to start tomorrow. We're going to teach essentially everything you need to know. And it's not even going to be wired at teaching, practical, so that at the end of tomorrow, you already have your vision statement, mission statement, your TAs. It's not that you just be hearing people say target audience, target audience. Even you're just saying target audience, you don't even know them. Okay, I don't want to see some of these things here, right? So I would want to keep it because that is why you paid. I'd want to say thank you so much again, everybody, for joining in, right? I am always excited. And then, of course, like we said, this time around, we have practicals. So, guys, on our events for this coming week, month of February is a public speaking month, right? But because we had trailed down to we had discussed remote. We didn't just want to end it abruptly because we started remote job opportunities right somewhere at the end of January. So from next week, we're going to have a lot of persons who are going to discuss. Essentially, we're going to pay attention. Like we said, 2025 is our TEDx, right? But then also, it's going to be also a practical session for the people in the team Gold as well. So we're going to have people also have the opportunity from our classes tomorrow. We're going to have people literally talk about confidently, like create like a TED session. So we will not just be saying TEDx, and we don't have maybe a practical display. So please, all the public speakers in the community, right? All our mommy M's, show me more, and every other person who has served in the community. If you're in the keynote speaker pool and you're currently live on this call, just send me a DM, right? That's and you're into public speaking or TEDx. We are starting with fire. One of the things we want to do is that we're going to get a flyer and put literally, if there are 12 speakers that are going to come on board for the month of February, we're going to do that so that we can just pay attention, because most times curating these events can be super draining. And like this event, we created this super late this week. I think was it Wednesday evening? That was when this event went live, and it's kind of affected our turnout as well. So we have to. I'm grateful to God that all the people who are currently our volunteers, you're paying attention to the needs of the community. Like I said, please, if you're in the volunteer team, you're not here to ask me how you're going to do it. You're going to see, pay attention, study. It's not hard, guys. I'm a medical doctor, guys. It's not hard. Being smart is not hard. It just takes your time. So it means that, okay, how did Vivian all of a sudden start doing this? I mean, where is all these results coming from? It just means that there's something I'm paying attention to that will make you just take your eyes off the fact that, oh, she's a medical doctor. You just start saying, oh, wow, so she can actually get these kinds of results. If you don't know us, you're meeting us for the first time. My name is Dr. Vivian Magnus. I'm the founder of the Phoenix Gates Group. We've been able to host, I mean, last week alone, like I said, last 2 weeks, we had close to 4,000 persons already come in contact with our materials. I don't know if that would tell you anything. So that means that um so far, initially I was saying 20,000, 20,000. We've long gone beyond that. I'm sure we're pretty much crossing the 330,000 when we're crossing by the end of this event or by the end of this month. But essentially, this is it. We have worked with several persons, giving them like everything. The idea behind the Phoenix, I will say it again, is Phoenix is a mythological bird that literally rises from the ashes. Okay, so one of the things we want to see is seeing people thrive across all sphere, literally all sphere. We just want to make sure that, especially you as a nursing mom, you're not using it as an excuse not to be competitive. If your husband says you should stay at home because he's a surgeon, like you guys know, my husband is a surgeon, right? That's lovely. But I am not going to stay as though I don't know that there are other opportunities to make money. So in this case, if your husband tells you to stay at home, be excited because there is money on this table. You need to see my studio. Every day I'm always trying to look for things to upgrade. I don't know. Somebody saw one of the best gifts I got. I mean, I have the map of the world where I can be praying on because literally, guys, we've gone global, right? So somebody is saying we're going global. I said, no, I'm already global, right? And we did a test last week. We did a test as well here to show you the amounts of excellent persons who always come up on this live literally every week. And for me, I'm always super excited to host everyone. So I'm going to be ending the live soon. If I don't see, please just ask your questions because I will see it on the other device. Like I said, Dr. Adekumbi said, Dr. Ginger is ginger. Okay, so okay, awesome. So if you're in the boot camp and you're not in the 1,000 plus, please just let me know. Okay, Annie says you're doing amazing. I'm so glad to be a part of this community. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. Okay, yes, Eddie Udoma, I'm going to add you. Most times they're already on. They're usually most in most of my posts. It's just I think I took a little break this week because I was super precious. I had a lot. I mean, a lot to do, a lot. This week, I've never been super busy in my whole week. And guess what? So part of the things I also want to let the campers know is that LinkedIn is not forgiving. Like even if you get to 100,000 followers and you don't have people who, what's the word? You don't have a system that supports you, whether it's your personal brand. In fact, they want to ensure that your posts don't do well. Once some of your connections see your post and they don't comment. So if you get super busy and you don't reply your post within the first 1 hour, your post is literally going to flop. So when you see people doing well on LinkedIn, 500 comments, 1,000 comments, the question is, have you done a LinkedIn fast before? And I'm not saying LinkedIn, like fasting away from LinkedIn. I mean fasting on, hey, why am I sharing the cheat sheets that I want to share in the camp? Okay, so because you're here on live, I want to honor you and say thank you. So sometimes you might just want to sit down and see what is this algorithm about before you even start your jealousy, right? What is this algorithm about? Why should anybody curate an event and people come? What are they doing? So buying their courses is a very good way as well. And then paying attention, giving your time. Like I said, if you're somebody who doesn't give, you will not do well. It's not hard. And I'm telling you the truth, it's not a curse. It's how God wired the world. And when I say God wired the world, most times people will say, if you pray, people are thinking that the only giving you should do should be in the spiritual end of your conversation. They are saying just pray, things will just drop on your laps like ripe cherries. It's possible, right? But the thing is, somebody who got is coming in must have paid the price as well. So the question is, why don't I just pay the price as well as do all of my spiritual, what do you call it, sacrifices, so that I can be the one who is now giving people rather than waiting for someone to come and give me, which is not so honorable as a human being. And I think there's something that life does, right? I would just you guys. I don't know. My heart is in that in a good matter. So I'll just say thank you so much again for everybody who stayed in to this point. You guys are you are all the real MVPs, right? I'm so happy that I'm not conversing as a Gen Z. So I think our generation X, we used to say, guys, you guys. I remember when we make some of those comments and we're like, yikes, I just said that. But now, an average generation Gen Z conversation, you'll just even be saying, is this English or Spanish? But then thank you so much, everybody, for sitting in with me as well. Somebody said this is a masterclass on its own. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. So part of the things we're going to say again is, please reach out to me. Oh, campus. Hey, I do ginger. There's no, I don't understand. I've told you, you're doing one post is already in that link. All you have to do is click the link in your mails, and you already have what you're going to essentially you're introducing yourself to what you're going to do. So the essential thing you're just going to write is hi everyone, I'm happy to announce. If you don't miss this, I'm happy to announce. No matter what you do, just write it. Then take a moment, give a lot of spaces. Please don't jam back your writings. Always make sure that your conversations are easy on the eyes. So I've seen a lot of people's what did you call it, work do so poorly. That's part of the things we're going to be discussing tomorrow. So I'm just saying this now because I know that your first post is supposed to go live tomorrow morning, so that you're not super bleak, right? So part of the things I would say, pay attention, make anything that will be easier for you to read. I know that you're Albert Einstein, so I don't want to take chances, right? But I will still say it again. Part of the things you need to do is to make sure that your conversations are easy on the eyes as you're typing it this night, right? I would always say make sure that your carcass, your content ideations are already saved up somewhere. Don't wait till it's in the morning. You're trying to scribble something. I know it can happen sometimes when you get super busy, but please don't make it a part of you. Then engage an hour before you post. So just come online and just see what everybody has posted and just say, oh lovely. Try and skim. Learn to skim. Some of you will just enter someone's post and write thanks for sharing. Please, Phoenix Gates, we're not like that. We are not like that. Thank God we have volunteers now. We're going to have police, people that are going to be catching people that are writing thanks for sharing. Some of you who know our bootcamp, we're very good at calling people out. You just see somebody who just tag you and say, why did you write thanks for sharing? All you have to do is, first of all, if you're super in a hurry, maybe on your way to work or you're already at work and your boss is already on your table, part of the things you might want to do, like the post first. When you like the post, every conversations on that post will be coming to you, right? So it means that somehow, if you now have a freer time to engage, you still see that post, then you can sit down and write a meaningful comment that when the person reads it, the person will know that, oh my God, after spending 30 minutes, 1 hour to come up with something this excellent, this person actually read it. But I said it because it's our first day, there's going to be a lot of congratulations. Have those conversations with you, right? Okay, so I think you guys lost me for a moment. But one of the things I've noticed again is, like I said again, on the first days, it's always easier for you. Once you write, I'm happy to announce. First days are usually super very easy for boot camps. People will just say, you just drop your congratulations, which is very easy. But then I'm saying this now, but you look through what the person is offering. You can say, oh, wow, I didn't even know that I had somebody in my circle who offered this. I'm sure to pay attention. Probably, if I need your help in this direction, I would reach out. You see how I just said this now? I've already built some form of relationship. Part of the things you're going to also do, for we said all the people in the boot camp, please turn on your notifications for everybody on the bootcamp. So as soon as the list will be out before 12 midnight, please, as I'm having these conversations with you already now, start making the list for the returnees. You already know how we do it, right? So you start curating the list, start putting them on the list. Just start telling just put a list of only your profile link only. So what we'll do is that all of us okay, sorry guys, give me a moment. So what we'll do is that all of us will turn on our notifications for everybody, so that for life, so all the people who went through the first boot camp, we know ourselves. Anywhere we enter, that's the spirit of the Phoenix Gate. We literally are invested in one another. Of course, like I said, when some of these job opportunities come up from now on, like some that came up during the week, we will not exactly bring it up to the life as often, except we have like an overflow. If people will just tell us that they need this, they need that, we'll just quickly. Okay. So if people tell us that they need this, they need that, and we already see that the job that we want to post on a live event is already having somebody to that would be what's the word, that we can reach out to in-house. Of course, first of all, running through the persons, except during our seasons of break, like last 2 weeks. We had break from our camp, like we had just finished the 21, so we had break. So it meant that it was okay if we had actually just reached out to other persons who coming on board. But like I said, every time we have job opportunities that we cannot find people for, we'll definitely bring it up to the life. So I think this is where I would say thank you so much for this is serious. Thank you so much for giving us such an opportunity to always serve you. Like I said, it's a promise. We're going to be coming out here Sunday, 5 p.m. GMT +1. If you have a sibling, a friend who is always asking you for urgent $1 million, because we're past urgent 2K. Of course, you know that this is 2025, right? If the person is always asking for urgent 5 million, urgent 10 million, urgent, they want you to support their business. They want you to invest in their business, but they don't have 1 naira. Please send them here, right? Give them our links. Every time we share our posts, we write our posts. Like I said, the best time to share our posts is when we have curated it. Sometimes these events, they put sharing it's more like a last minute. It's still excellent. We'll still push for it anytime, any day, but we'll always prefer that you share it immediately. So at this point, like I said, I promise we're going to end on the dot three. So since we don't have any questions so far, boot campers, see you tomorrow. Like I said, your post is going to be going up by 6 a.m. tomorrow. Every single person. We're already marking attendance. We're going to be watching. We have documentations for you. So all the persons who did direct transfer, I think I had a handful of direct transfers. Please just do well to reach out to me this night so that we can send you all the messages. Send me your email as well. So if you can hear me, just send me your email so that I will send you the mail as well so that it's going to be permanent. So I would want to say again, thank you so much for supporting us on this journey. We'll be happy to come right into your homes on your devices by this time next week. So I would say thank you so much. My name is Dr. Vivian Magnus, and I am more than happy and excited to always serve. Do have an amazing day. So we're going to be ending this live stream in